All right, good evening. The time is 6:07. Today is Friday, March 6th, and we are going to have a workshop. We don't need to do we need to do roll call? Okay. All right, if the city secretary could do roll call. Here.
Tobias?
Present.
Joseph?
Here.
Medina?
Here.
Zapata? Here. Harris?
Here.
McKinney?
Here.
All right, that's 7 of us. We don't have a quorum because this is not a quorum, right? Or we do? Okay, I just want to make sure this is not a meeting. This is a workshop, okay? All right, so the city's council welcomes comments from citizens. Those wishing to speak are encouraged to sign in before the meeting begins. Speakers are provided with an opportunity to speak during the time period on any agenda item or any other matter concerning city council business, and we ask that you observe the 3-minute time limit. I have 2 public comment forms. First up is Kenneth Rocha.
You can just walk up, stand up, or walk up.
Walk up to that.
There you go, like a little.
Okay. Kenneth Rocha, Hometown Kyle. Hello, happy Friday evening, everybody. I appreciate the work, the overtime possibly that goes into this, and council members, thanks for being present and being open. I get to lead sessions like this in my day-to-day, so kudos. It's awesome. Be open to it. I do want to share, as we are open-minded during visioning, is to think about budget. I know we're not in the planning for budget season yet, but it should stay on top of mind. I realize that council, y'all are in a tricky situation in balancing between fulfilling voter obligation and being the best stewards of our tax monies. We are all in anticipation of the certified assessed valuation that will be provided this summer. The default debt service minimum dollar amount required to pay off existing debt bills and debt, and any new cost savings the city manager and team have been able to unearth. That was exceptional last budget cycle. I'm here to advocate for a lean bond path forward. This path moves us to a no new revenue rate while still fulfilling our core promises to the voters. It isn't doing less, it is doing exactly what each of you said you'd do, without over-collecting any more money than necessary from our neighbors. The lean bond path is simple. Prioritize the 2022 road bonds. Continue to break ground on Windy Hill and Button Creek this spring. For Old Stagecoach, plan an alignment and design that works. Right now it doesn't. Strip out the extras, the non-essential trails, decorative landscaping, and the roundabouts to lower the debt load. We are already trying to shoehorn a road expansion in a limited space. Secure the Hays County match for the Regional Parks Project. We don't need a $161 million sportsplex today. We should fund a Phase 1 minimalist project, only the fields and the trails required by the ILA. This secures the county's $7 million match without saddling us with $130 million in future debt, and more importantly, addresses the quality of life needs for our community. Adopt a minimum debt rate. Per Senate Bill 1453, we should stop over collecting a cushion for debt and leave the cash in the residents' pockets. Now, people will tell you that we've already spent too much on designs to stop now, what's called sunk cost. A $2 million design is an asset. It's not a mandate to spend $40 million we don't have. People all say growth pays for growth. But if that were true, our tax rate would be dropping, not jumping to 27%. The truth is we're using current residents as a piggy bank to build capacity for future debt. The lean bond path stops that cycle. I don't know how much time I have. Ding? All right. Council, you have a choice. You can continue over-collecting to build capacity, or you can take the lean bond path and build trust and demonstrate good stewardship. I've often heard we will lose the county match if we don't move now. We aren't walking away. We're fulfilling the ILA through a focused Phase 1. We are securing the $7 million match while protecting our residents from other $150 million debt. The no new revenue rate will require cutting essential services. The NNR rate also allows for the same revenue as last year plus all new growth. If we have a deficit, it's not due to a lack of taxpayer contribution. Adopting the NNR rate still allows the city's budget to grow. It just prevents the city from taking more money from the people who already live here. Lastly, construction inflation makes delaying roads more expensive. Debt interest is also a form of inflation. Borrowing $40 million at 4.5% interest over 20 years costs more than a 10% rise in concrete prices. Let's build the asphalt now and skip the extras until we have the cash. I realize it's a difficult position y'all are in. I appreciate the open-mindedness, and I appreciate the strategy that goes into it from city staff. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Up next, I have Howard Connell.
Thank you. Good evening, council. I can't see you because I got my glasses on. But anyhow, I wrote this piece up here. What is our city of Kyle, or why is our city of Kyle in such a mess? It's not just a lack of ethics. I've spent several years learning how Kyle's Charter Commission, Ethics Commission, Compensation Committee are supposed to work and how they actually are working. The city charter isn't a suggestion. It's a city's constitution, and a constitution only matters if the people in charge follow it. Each charter commission member is appointed by a council member. They make recommendations, but before voters ever get to see them, the council can change them or add their own items. So let's be honest. If the council controls the ending, the commission is just window dressing. Same story with Ethics Commission. Citizens can't file complaints, only council members can. I know from experience that even a vetted complaint can die if a council member won't submit it. That's not transparency, that's a locked system pretending to be accountability. Now, compensation. The charter says a compensation committee meets to discuss the salary, not perks, not stipends, not credit cards, not city paid benefits, just the salary. So when both the stipend and a credit card showed up, it's a simple question. Who authorized that? Because the charter didn't, and individual council members can't act solo and call it a public purpose because they act as a part of a whole. So I wonder how those credit card transactions satisfied the public purpose and direct benefit to the city required by the credit card policy. It simply isn't possible. President Lincoln talked about government of the people, by the people, for the people. Right now, what we have looks more like a facade disguising itself as democracy. If the system only answers to itself, then it doesn't answer to the people. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. Any more for I close citizens' comments? We're good? All right. All right, up next, we're going to do reports and presentations. City Council priority and vision setting for the city, which requires a broad discussion of city operations and business to include any or all of the following topics. A portion of this item will be facilitator-led. Topics may be taken up in order, and discussions may include visioning, strategic development, priority setting, governance, alignment, key initiatives, and meeting structure. I'm going to turn it over to Brian Langley, the facilitator. All right.
Well, you could just put it on that and then put it in the middle of the table. So we're going to be moving around quite a bit, and so there'll be lots of us moving around in the room just like last time. So first of all, I just want to thank you guys for your time. This is a significant investment for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We're going to try to be very efficient with your time, but it is a long weekend for you. But there's a lot to talk about. We discussed some of this at the last one in January, that we had the ice storm, and we were cut short on some things, but I've found these type of retreats to be very important to set the foundation for the year to come. The things that we're going to be focused on, we're trying to get some alignment from the council to understand what is your vision, what are the key projects that you want to work on, and what's the expectations for the coming year. And that's particularly important because of the budget coming up. It's hard to believe, but I'll be presenting a budget to you in just 3.5 months. That should be based on your vision, the strategic plan, the alignment that you have on projects and where you're wanting to go. So this is the first phase of that process to start understanding what's important to you, what are the things that you want to prioritize, and how do you want to move forward. We have again with us Rick Robinson. He spent quite a bit of time getting ready for this particular retreat. We've also done the questionnaires for all of you, and I hope this will be a great use of your time. But these are all designed to get you talking and to get consensus from the council to see where we want to move forward. So again, thank you for your time. I think this is going to be a great weekend. We do have dinner, just a few housekeeping things. We'll have some breaks here and there. Rick will help us keep on track. We do have dinner coming in, I believe it's around 7 or 7:15. So we'll have a short break around that to make sure we keep you fed, but not too fed. We don't want you to get too tired. So, and we'll try to keep it as cold as possible in this room to keep everybody awake. But I, again, appreciate all of you being here. Mayor, I didn't know if you had any remarks too that you wanted to say to kind of kick things off.
I'm just excited. This is the time that we can speak about what our true vision is. And I think it's good that I'm sure we all have different visions. I was talking to Amber today, and one of my goals is to hopefully, everybody be able to walk, a place in your district, maybe pick out 3 places that we want to each go walk and show each other what we think we'd like to fix up in that area, and get a real hands-on feeling on the things that we want, things that we can focus on. So, I'm excited.
Okay, Rick, I'll turn it over to you.
Outstanding. I love everything you guys said, because that's what we built the agenda to do. So, before I get into the agenda though, I handed out some things to y'all. We had to leave pretty abruptly last time. And in between there, I've had surgery, and so I went under anesthesia, so a lot of that got washed right out of my brain, and I'm trying to get it back. But I appreciate y'all's forbearance. So what I have handed out for you, one is I thought you would be interested in a summary of all the calls that I had with each of you before last session. So I met with each of you on a Zoom call. So this is just summarizing. And we will refer to this as we go through. So that's one thing I handed out. The second thing I handed out was with the survey this time, what you guys said are the top 3 most important initiatives that are underway at the city, and 3 things that you guys feel could be put on the back burner. And I thought you would be interested in what the other council members had to say on that. Third thing I handed out was the fun facts and the fun facts form. So did everybody bring their fun facts form from last time? No? Okay. So
I memorized it.
Mark might have. Jennifer was kind enough to gather up all the stuff, and so Courtney has hers, because it was still there. I was able to find the owner. So if you have it from last time, that's great. If you guys are interested, I'd like to go ahead and try this again, so that we can just kind of put a bow on that. We'll reveal the answers at the end of the evening, and I have prizes. So,
Does anybody need
As
to
an
be
incentive.
reminded of what letter M is? Because that was changed.
oh, that's right.
Not to interrupt you.
We can leave it that way. It's the same person. I mean, everybody knows who.
It's a freebie.
It was a freebie. So any other comments or questions before we get into it? All right, so the first couple of slides I have are, I apologize, I couldn't figure out where to put them. But I thought they were really important and interesting because it's what you guys are saying. So I just put them in here, like the top 3 priorities. So it's printed out, you have it. I know this is kind of hard to read. But all of you said number 1 thing is roads. Or roads, infrastructure, water supply, all of that was like top of mind. And then there's some one-offs, sidewalks budget, removing unnecessary spending, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of alignment around some of the most high priority stuff. 3 inches can wait. There was a lot of alignment or a shared view that some of the park stuff maybe isn't as important as the road stuff, or maybe done differently. And then we start to creep in with some interpersonal stuff. In the upfront call stuff, I asked you what are the 3 biggest challenges facing the city? Managing growth, ensuring quality development, infrastructure and roads were the most important ones, or the 2 most common ones, excuse me. Also common was something around affordability and displacement, fiscal and financial transparency, and the rest are just kind of solo comments. So you have a printout of that as well. And then finally, and we'll refer to these again, but I just wanted to kind of remind you of what you guys said was the most important stuff. And I found it interesting is that when I asked you if you could only focus on one thing, it kind of shifted from infrastructure to become more interpersonal stuff. So how do we build a team between council and senior staff? How do we work together more effectively, et et cetera. And then infrastructure roads. And you can see, council's always cracked me up. I asked you one thing, you add it all up. So I always joke with people, I said councils are a unique group to work with because you give them instructions and then they just do whatever the hell. But that's okay, I love it. All right, so the agenda for today. We have covered the introduction, the fun facts. I'm gonna remind you of why this is important, why leadership matters, a little perspective and context, and then we're gonna review what we did last time. Not what I did, but what you did, so the work product from last time. So I'm not gonna go back and cover all that stuff again, so don't worry. Just the output, and then I wanna jump into vision. Because one of the most important things for coming together as a team, which is what you guys have said is one of the most important things for you to do, is having a common vision. Without that, you get a lot of, in my experience, there's always a lot of infighting. Because it's like, I think this is a good idea. And you're like, I don't think it's a good idea. And if we don't have a common vision, how do we tell? I mean, it's a good idea for my vision, it may not be a good idea for your vision, and that's where the disagreements come in. So, getting a common vision of what you would like to create in the city of Kyle in some point in the future. And then talk a little bit about the rules of engagement. So how are you going to agree to hold each other accountable for interacting with each other, interacting with staff, and then with the general public. So just getting on the same page with that. So that's pretty much today. Tomorrow we'll finish up and carry on that vision with a set of high-level balanced scorecard goals. So we'll create a financial goal, an internal process goal, a customer experience goal, and an employee/culture goal. Right, so those goals further define the vision. And then you'll talk a little bit about budget and what are your budget goals and kind of what is the budget process going to look like, get some foreshadowing on that. We want to talk about the strategic plan and talk about how your vision aligns with the current or the previous strategic plan and get an update on that. And then you're going to jump into some key initiatives. And you're going to go through all the key initiatives one by one. The staff's going to take you through those. I have a little evaluation sheet, of course, because I have to create something for it that you can say, how important is this initiative for you to achieve your vision? Because that's where, when you get really effective, that's where you start thinking. When you see a good idea, when you see something new, does this help me achieve my vision, and if so, how? And if it doesn't, why should I do it? Right? So when you do your vision, think about that. You've got to justify all the stuff you're doing. Does it help you achieve your vision? Right? So you'll evaluate that first, and then you'll get an urgency evaluation. So you want to start now and go fast, you want to start now and go slow, you want to start later, or do you want to just not start at all? And you'll get to evaluate each initiative on that, and then we'll pull everybody's together, we'll put it through a regression analysis, we'll do a big rubric, teasing about something. But we'll generate a priority list that's yours on the most important initiatives, and that should give a lot of really good input and direction for council. Because the truth of the matter is, as the mayor mentioned, you all have a vision. Whether you realize it or not, you have a vision for the city. The first city manager I ever worked with said, I need three things from council. I need a common vision, I need consistency, and I need to be able to prioritize initiatives. Those are the three things. Once I got those, I'm off and running. I'm going to deliver the vision of council. So that's what this is all about. Is there any question before I jump into this? Like I normally do, I've kind of talked about a lot of what I was going to talk about on the rest of the slides. But one of the things I like to keep in mind is what, when I talk about leaders and talk to leaders, is what do followers mean? And the people from Gallup did a big survey and determined that there's 4 key things your people that follow you need. We talked about this last time: trust, compassion, stability, and hope. So ask yourself as we go through this, and we go through these exercises, how do these things that we're doing help us build trust, compassion, stability, and hope for those people that elected you or chose you to lead? So getting into this, does leadership matter? So better question. Oh, I answered that. So, we'll start with this one. Does leadership matter? All right, non-rhetorical question. Does leadership matter?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. Why? Anybody remember from last time?
Cheating.
Taking notes.
Does it set the standard?
Okay, that's one of the things you need to do. Why is that important?
One of my favorite sayings is you'll rise to the level that you set. So kind of setting the expectation.
Yeah, excellent, right? So that's related real closely to the way we put it, is right? Every organization comes into existence with an initial set of goals in mind. We call those the Horizon 1, or H1 set of goals. And you work really, really hard and you get there and you're successful. You do a little happy dance and say, hey, I made it. But then you look up and go, oh wait, there's more.
So able to
Kinda
get you
did.
to that next level.
Yeah, so it's like that next level that you set. Now, you could say, I've been with 2 organizations that say, you know, we're good. I want to stay here.
That's managing.
Well, can you stay here?
No.
No, the law of entropy tells you you're moving forward or you're falling back. You cannot stay here. One of the companies that said, I want to stay here was one I was a partner in.
Blockbuster. They're a
That's
great example, though.
They are a great example. But the one, I wasn't a leader, a partner in Blockbuster. If I wasn't, I love y'all, but I probably No, we looked at it, and we were going through a strategic planning session, and we were sitting around the table. We were in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It was a beautiful day. And the senior partner, just in the middle of it, said, okay, straight talk, guys. This was our 3rd year in a row to do this. Are we actually going to do anything different this year? And we looked around the table and said, no, probably not. I mean, we've got plenty of money, we've got plenty of clients, and plenty of time to play golf and do the things we like to do. I was young, I was single, it was just me. I'm good. I don't really need to push myself to do more. So we tried to stay here. And you see this little dip? This is what happens when you try to stay here. There's one reason for the dip. And what happens is your competition, and we all have competition, starts to swoop in and steal your customers, steal your attention, steal your eyeballs. And instead of more, you get less. Fortunately, we woke up in time to say, you know what? We don't want less. We really do want more. And we were able to correct the ship. The other reason there's a little dip here is that in the short run, you may actually get worse results for a little while because you're making a change, and change can be hard. That's why it's important to be intentional about where you want to go so that you can steady the ship, that you can make the adjustments. All right. The thing that's going to get you from Horizon 1 to Horizon 2 is largely leadership. You can get to Horizon 1 on the back of a few people working really hard. But it gets to the point again, working harder. And these people need to replicate themselves, get results through other people in order to get to the next level. If you want to stay around this area, you don't really need super strong leadership. If you want more, that's why leadership matters. We break this down a little bit further. This Horizon 1 level of results is your current results. And anything on this side of equation, your equation is things you measure, results of things, end of process, revenue, expenses, net income, citizen engagement, employee engagement, number of people that attend your festival. All of that are results. And your results is being delivered by your way you perform. Things on the performance side of the equation, your people, processes, technology. Strategy, structure, controls, culture, organizational capability, all of that taken together is delivering the results you're getting. So, question, do you guys want more? Do you want better results in the future, however you define it? Yes, okay. Everybody?
That was real emphatic.
Yeah.
We're working on it. Yes.
All right, if you want better results in the future, the question then becomes, can you keep this side of the equation the same and
No.
expect to get better results? And the answer is?
No.
No, it sounds like Einstein's definition.
Insanity.
So if I want better results in the future, I'm going to have to change something on this side of the equation. I may need different people or people with different skills or new processes and different technologies. knowledgeable. The important thing the thing I want to get across to you from this model, I could talk about this model for the rest of the weekend. I won't, but I could. But I want to get across a couple of things. The number one thing is I want you to pay attention to where this arrow goes on the bottom. So you have current performance delivering current results. So your people are working through processes using technology and they're getting some stuff done. But the arrow goes the other way on the top. It goes from results to performance. Why do you think that is?
You see the results of what you're trying to accomplish, and it improves your performance. You want to be able to continue to, it's kind of like, this is your heart, follow the mind, follow it, and you kick it into action. I guess that's.
Hopefully
what
that's
you're
true.
looking
That's not the answer I'm looking for, but hopefully it's true.
at. Yeah.
Anybody else want to take a stab at it? Thank you for that.
I feel like performance is an overall measure of what the results of your work product are.
Good answer. Still not the one I'm looking for. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? Why do you think it would go from results to performance? Because down here, you have to do this first. That gives you this. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? What would you think this box, another word we might call this box?
That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah,
It's the
excellent.
action that we're taking.
Vision. What do you want the results to look like at some point in the future? That's why it goes that way, because you can't talk about the performance changes until you know what you want to achieve. Right? All too often we go over here, we say, let's change this, let's change that, let's change this. We start doing stuff against the wall. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. But how do you tell? Because you don't know you haven't laid out what you want the end result to be. So that's what we're going to do. That's why this is important. That's what I wanted to get across. You are going to define what these results look like in a very high level way. We're not going to get down to the numbers and nitty gritty or anything measurable today. But we're going to say we want, in a general idea, this is what we want for the city of Kyle at some point in the future. And that'll give you some direction on, well, if we're going to go there, here's some changes we got to
I
make.
was looking at it the opposite.
Yeah.
Looking at your performance leads to your results.
Yeah, it does. And it will in the future,
How-
because this
how hard
future
you
state,
work.
as you implement these changes, that becomes your bottom line.
Yeah, I know, like, your performance, let's say from a business standpoint, your results or your profits equals your longevity of your company.
Perfect.
So in order to have your future, your future results, you gotta have your performance, but I guess a lot of it goes to your current performance, which leads to your results, and then, your future performance is like, these are our goals that we're gonna have for each section of our company or our city. This is the performance that's expected, and these are the future results that we want to see.
Absolutely, yeah. And you'll notice this arrow, this is the delta, this is the change that's got to happen. But you can't judge the change until you know what kind of results. Let's say, taking a for-profit business, there's several of you that are entrepreneurial in nature. If I want my results to be 10% better, I'm going to have to make certain changes over here. If I want my results to double, I'm going to have to make different changes over here. If I want to have 5 new business lines, I got a whole different, if I want to open up new markets, I have different things that have to happen over here. But I'm not going to do any of this until I know. The example I use, did I use the Hawaii example?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. If I were to say to you, go do all these things, go set your alarm, pack your bag, gas up your car, whatever, you're like, no. But if I say to you, we're gonna go to Hawaii next week and we're gonna do this there instead of here, do you wanna go? You're like, yeah. It's painting this picture that's compelling of the future that people wanna be a part of. That's what we're gonna do here. That's what the vision's all about. Now, are you gonna get all the way there tonight? No.
Yes.
That would be awesome, but historically, No, you're gonna get, you view a strategic plan as a starting point, not a finish line. It establishes what we're gonna do, what we're gonna work towards in the future. So we'll get 80% there hopefully, and then over time, a year from now, look at it again and say, oh, this part's good, but I would modify this, or what have you. It should be a living document. That's why we get 80%. If you try to get 100%, all of you agree exactly that's what I want, we'd be here Sunday and we'd still be arguing about it. So, that's the main thing. The other thing is, this is your comfort zone. You're doing what you're doing, you get what you're getting. I have the people working through processes they're familiar with, using technology they're familiar with. And if I am gonna change things, if I'm gonna ask them to work on this top line, if this is your comfort zone and I ask you to work up here, you're by definition gonna be what? Uncomfortable, yeah. If this is my comfort zone and I'm gonna ask you to do something different to get a different result in the future, you're gonna be uncomfortable. And in order for you to be willing to be uncomfortable, three things gotta be true. You gotta want it, you gotta believe in it.
Support it.
Yeah. I can't remember what the third one is, but I gotta want it. I gotta believe it's possible. I have to have faith that we can do it. So, there was a third one, it'll occur to me in a little bit. I blame it on the anesthesia. All right, so leadership's important, that's what we've established, and it's important because you want more. And we've said the first role of a leader is to set direction. It comes first.
Excuse me.
It's not more important than the other ones, but it has to come first because it gives relevance to everything else. So once I have my direction set and my strategies in place, then I have to execute it. Yes, sir. That transition is hard for a lot of organizations. It's transitioning from strategy to execution. Now, within cities, largely setting directions in the purview of council. And then that transition and sharing that vision, staff is in a large part responsible for executing the strategy. And the third really is everybody's purview, is to engage and inspire the people. It doesn't say motivate because people are already motivated. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that'll tell you what you're motivated by. You're trying to meet those needs and climb the hierarchy, climb that ladder to get to self-actualization. So I don't need to motivate them, but I do need as a leader to inspire them and to engage them. And what do I want them to be engaged and inspired by? The vision, yeah, that top line. This is what we create as leaders. We set this vision and then we invite people to be relevant to the future. And if it's compelling and inspiring and engaging enough, they're gonna help me. I don't have to tell people what to do differently. They're gonna tell me what we need to do differently. Hey, if we wanna go over here, here's what we gotta do. And that's when you start humming along. So setting direction is all about strategy. That's what we're gonna do this weekend. That gives relevance to the rest of this. Things like structure. You can't have an org structure or infrastructure plan without knowing what your strategy is. Structure follows strategy. I probably told you the story about my sister last time. I'll repeat it very quickly, because I don't want to repeat myself. But my sister was the corporate relocation manager. She worked for a corporate relocation company, and her client was ExxonMobil. She was account executive. So she had 40, 50 people that worked for her. And she had 3 managers. And she called me one day and said, hey, look, we're looking to go from 3 managers in our department to 2. I'm like, okay, why are you calling me? And she goes, you know a little something about this HR kind of stuff. And I'm like thinking, not really, but I think, okay, well, buy me lunch. I'll tell you what I need. Because I wanted to see her. So I picked a really nice restaurant because I wanted lunch. And I waited until after we ordered, and I said, what do you got? She put 2 org charts in front of me. One of them had 3 managers, one had 2. She said, do you think it'll work? I had to give her the standard consultant answer. Maybe.
Depends.
It depends. To be a good consultant, you have to know what it depends on. So you put your consultant hat on. Will it work for her to move from 3 managers to 2 managers? What does it depend on?
Strategy.
What's your strategy? What's your business problem you're trying to solve? What are you trying to achieve with this? What do you want your future results to be? And she said, we hadn't talked about that. So I said, go for it. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter what your car looks like. You can't have a relevant conversation about this until you know what your strategies are, what you're trying to achieve. Controls, measurement system, KPIs, dashboards, performance reviews. Any way that people get feedback are we going in the right direction? Do you have the right controls? Are you measuring, the right things in your organization? The answer is?
Depends.
It depends. Depends on what? What is your strategy? Where are you going? You know, when we're driving down here, we hit Waco in an hour and a half. Are we making good time? Yeah, because we're going to Austin. If we were going to Oklahoma City, I don't think so. Culture. Do you have the right culture in your organization? You think Walmart and Nordstrom have the same culture? Very different, right? Which one's better?
Costco.
Old Walmart, original Walmart.
Yeah, you know, we can all pick one, but you take any of them and put them in the other organization and it won't work. They're gonna fail because they have the right culture for their strategy, for what they're trying to achieve. And do you have the right capabilities in your organization? That one is real easy to draw the lines to. Because once you get your vision, that'll tell you who you need to execute. And that's why it's so important, because we're having all these conversations without the context.
That's why you got, when you go to, again, go back to this, as you go to athletic wear, you see Nike still in a down the field where, you know, they're competing with Under Armour, but you look at it, Nike has a culture. They don't sell just shoes, they sell the culture. They sell sport, they sell, you know, when you look at the commercials, you don't see just the shoe itself and the laces and how pretty they look. They see a little kid hitting the ball. They see a person running achievements, you know, they see that, and then there's the logo itself, the Nike logo.
All right, so
So
this
it's all about the culture
is the first element of bonus evening, bonus night. There's this concept you all heard of, it's called value proposition. And it comes from the book, in the Discipline of Market Leaders by Tracy and Wiersbe. Came out in the 90s. There's really only 3 value propositions from their perspective. They studied all the good, the great, build, the last companies. And they said, what makes these companies that are successful year over year over year, what separates them? And what their hypothesis or the theory is that what separates them is a laser focus on how they deliver value to people. And they determined there were 3. The first one is best total cost, low cost provider. Give me an example of a best total cost company.
Walmart.
What's that? Walmart, yeah. Year over year, success after success, driving a penny out of the process, becoming more and more efficient, et cetera. The second one is to be the innovator. They call that best product. But I'm going to generate invention after invention. I'm going to constantly launch new products. And hey, you got one that's still selling? Halfway through, I'm going to launch the next one. They're going to steal sales from themselves.
Apple.
Apple,
Facebook.
And the third one, he called it best total solution. I'm going to solve your broader problem. I'm not going to give you what you asked for. I'm going to give you what you need. And when you call me and say, hey, I need to buy 15 chairs, I'm going to say, who's going to sit in them? How old are they? How many hours do you sit in a day? How many shifts do you run? How long do you plan to be in your current building? And I'm like, dude, I just want to buy chairs. If I just want to buy chairs, I'm going to the total cost because that's what my decision is made. But if I want to optimize the workspace for my people, I'm going to go to a total solution. Now, the reason this is important is as you're developing your vision, it has to reflect what you want to deliver, how you want to deliver. And the bottom line is, you can't deliver the total solution on a best total cost budget. You can't hire the best people, the most innovative people, and pay them the lowest wages because they won't stay. I'm sorry. Does that resonate with everybody? So this is a great concept, and I can cover more on this. I got a 2-hour presentation on value proposition and talking about it, figuring out what your value proposition should be. But I think it's an interesting data point as you develop your vision. It's like, do I want to be the low-cost provider? I've rolled this out for cities. I've never had a city say, yes, we want to be best total cost. We want to be the Walmart of cities. Walmart's pretty successful. And there's certain cities that are run that way. They're just not gonna say that out loud, especially city councils are gonna say that out loud. And I'm sorry, I know you guys all gotta get reelected and run for office and all that other good stuff. But they might say, I wanna be the Apple. And you can see how companies pick a lane, right? The innovator's Apple. You got a company down the road in Austin, technology company, super successful, that's best total cost. It is? 4 letters, begins with D. Come on. Dell. Best total cost company. And if you think about best total cost, McDonald's, and the total cost is not the cheapest always, it's the total cost of ownership, right? So McDonald's innovates the drive-through, so I don't have to get on my car to get a burger. It drives my acquisition cost down. Toyota is the best total cost company. Right? And their goal is to be the lowest cost of ownership in each of the market segments, right? So it's your acquisition cost, purchase price, maintenance costs, and then resale value. Take that off the back. They're gonna cost you less to own a Lexus than it is a comparative.
But can you have all three?
No,
Because, I mean, if you're looking at the way Chick-fil-A runs their drive-through,
Chick-fil-A is
but at the same time, you're looking at the best total cost.
they're a
but the
total solution company.
yeah.
They're gonna solve your broader problem. Great question. You see these highly successful companies and you start looking at them through this lens and you'll be, and it's not always obvious, but if you read their vision statements, you go bingo. Because you know what they're trying to deliver. Starbucks vision, they might have changed it, but their original vision was to be the premier purveyor of fine coffees and be good citizens in the communities we serve. Premier purveyor of fine coffees. They're an innovator. They are the best product.
When you go to these companies now, we go to Best Company, you're looking at, what they use now is the self-service, the curbside. You got a combination of the innovator, things like that, right?
Right.
But what they did is they became adaptable to the buyer's market, consumer market, and that's what I learned a lot at TML. When I went to TML, that's what they said. Cities need to get out of this mold of being comfortable and flexible. Because when you become flexible, cities and counties, they bend this a certain way and they go back. Okay, that's being flexible. You go nowhere. You're just bending a certain way just to get comfortable back in this area. Where you're becoming adaptable to the challenges of the growth. You have to be adaptable to the challenges of, like in our situation, our water situation, right? We have to be able to become adaptable in a lot of those kind of challenges and changes and so forth, including in public safety. And so that's kind of some of the things I used to take back from them is we have to get away from or not get away, but try to look beyond being flexible within a city and being comfortable and learn to be more adaptable to a lot of the changes that are coming away.
I like that. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the difference between nice and being kind here in a minute. It's the same kind of concept. We tend to think they're the same thing. So review of January session, we started with certain expectations. And, I bolded the ones I thought we made some progress on, like, so finding common, uncommon ground, learning how to work together, get to know each other, so we did a little bit of that. Appreciate having new council members and learning how to help move forward. Hopefully build a little trust, we understand different behavioral styles and how to communicate better. I know we definitely did that, and get a little bit more role clarity between council and staff. So I know we worked towards that. What we're gonna try to do is continue that work this weekend and have some different stuff, like shared collective vision, which we were gonna do Sunday. But you know what they say, man plans and God laughs. So share collective vision, understand everyone's personal vision, get direction on high-level projects, and begin to figure out how we present our supporters fits in with being of service to the whole city. So we're gonna talk about all of that this weekend, and hopefully make some really good progress on that. My expectations were, as in our conversations, let's assume positive intent. I believe all of you want what's best for the city, and that was bared out for the most part in the survey. I thoroughly enjoyed all the interactions I've had with each of you. I find you very intelligent and delightful to talk to. So, and I think we all need to cut each other a little slack. So, assume positive intent. Adopt servant leadership principles, principally active listening to understand and keeping an open mind. Use radical candor model to provide feedback. Stay on track, stay focused, actively participate. I recognize that this is a significant investment of your time, and we all have other things that we could be doing. You're gonna get out of this as much as you put in. So if you actively participate, dig into the exercise, et cetera, you're gonna get more out of this, and you're gonna have more fun. Radical candor, as a reminder, is you always want to challenge directly. It needs to be clear what it is you're challenging, or if you're giving feedback to somebody. This is the thing that separates feedback from criticism. Criticism is this. You're challenging directly, but you're not showing that you care. And nobody, there's not a person on the planet that doesn't get defensive if they feel they're being attacked. No one. What makes the difference is that they know you care about them, and they know that you want them to be better or to improve on something. If you think about the people that gave you the most feedback in your life, I can guarantee you it's either a parent, a coach, a teacher, a spouse. Those people all hate you and want you to feel bad about yourself. No, they love you and want you to do better. And I know my daughter's sick of me here saying it, but nobody gets better without feedback. I don't care. You're not doing it because you know it's bad or it doesn't work or it's wrong. You're doing it because you thought it was the right thing. And unless somebody tells you different, you'll keep doing it. People won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Theodore Roosevelt. I love quotes. Here's another one. Doc Rivers said average players want to be left alone, good players want to be coached, and your best players want to be told the truth. And I will endeavor to do that for you this weekend. You may never invite me back, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And if you want to know something, ask me, but make sure you want to know. We did the DISC assessment. I'm not going to go into all of this, but this was the team, and this was as a team, it's the council.
I always laugh. Jennifer's the only one with her picture on there. I think that's great. Just in case we were wondering who that was, we know.
Followed all the directions.
There's a couple of things on here that I'm like, I don't know how they did that. But, because, you know, here, I'm a D, and I would never take time out of my day to try to figure out how to get my picture. Plus, I look like me, and who wants to see that? Now, if I look like Jennifer, I probably would figure that out. So what jumps out at you on this? We talked about it last time, but I just want to refresh your memory.
That me and Brian are pushy and want to get things done.
Well, that was not as smart. No, so D's want action. They want to go, 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 go. Ready, fire, aim. They get a lot of stuff done, they get a lot of stuff undone. So the D's favorite question is what? What are we going to do next? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I's want to know, how do people feel about it? I's favorite question is who, and how it's going to impact the people. You got a lot of I's, a lot of D's. D's and I's are quantity focused. D's are task-oriented, I's are people-oriented. So a lot of quantity, a lot of go, 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 get stuff done, and a lot of people going, whoa, whoa, tap the brakes. How's this going to impact the people? All good stuff. Now remember, you're all for it. S wants to know how. What is the process? How are we gonna get that done? Michael? Lonely. Feel for you. Michael's like, you know, you're like, hey, let's do this. And we're like, Michael, how are we gonna do that? You're like, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out. Jennifer?
See,
Jennifer wants to know the data.
just give me the numbers. Just give me the-
When you give Jennifer the bottom line, she's like, how did they get there? When I present the survey results, she goes, I want to see the questions. So just remember that. There's a lot of data, detail, and process that other people are gonna have to fill in, which is not bad, it's just awareness. It's a 3-step process to use this model. First step is to understand something. What do you want to understand first, if you're gonna use this? First thing to understand. Yourself, outstanding. Most people say, understand other people and how they're all messed up. Because I am the center of my universe. If I stand here and turn in a circle, I am in the center and I see everything around me. We all are. We tend to look at other people and say, that's weird. Because they're different, right? So first I want to understand what my self is and what my inclinations are and how I like to communicate. And the second thing I want to understand is what? Others, yeah. The other people I'm going to interact with. And the third step is to use the platinum rule. And the platinum rule is, what's the golden rule? Take all the gold and run. Those were the golden rules. No. What is the golden rule?
Do with others as you would have them do to you.
Yeah, what does this teach me? According to the golden rules, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What does this teach me?
Well, this
They don't want to
teaches-
necessarily be done unto the way I do. They don't want to be communicated the way I do. I'm a D, give me the bottom line. If you give me all the detail, I'm asleep. I'm tapping my foot. I'm trying not to be rude, but I'm like, I can't even listen to you. If I'm an I want to know how this affects people. And if you're a D, you're like, who cares? We're going to do it anyway. Well, they actually do care, but that's not their primary focus. Their primary focus is get it done. If I'm an S, I want to know how. And I'm very loyal. And if you lie to me, you probably get one shot. That's it. We're done. And a C, what's the data? What's your justification for this? How can we support it? All right. So that's this. We talked about that last time. Like I said, we got one S, we got 2 C's. One's a shared C, 4 D's and 5 I's. So a lot of quantity. You're gonna talk about that. A lot of stuff. You're gonna keep moving, etc.
So all of that is on a continuum.
Yes.
So how does it really affect that when you have somebody who's so close to a line?
Yeah.
Do you see them taking both sides, like, or do they tend to lean more one way or another?
Yeah, so it's a behavioral assessment, right? And behavior is situationally based. So in certain behaviors, I may react one way, and in other behaviors, I'll react a different way. But we're all 4, so I can use any of the 4 behaviors if need be. I probably told you the story about when I worked in the auto industry as a salesperson. I had to go to Traverse City at the Grand Traverse Resort for the Big 3's annual blowout. I had to go to happy hour, make small talk, and get business cards, as many as I could get. I'm a D with C backup, total task orientation. No, very little people. As a matter of fact, my I was so low when I first took the test. I read the description, and I'm ashamed to say, I said, those are the people I don't have to use for. I had such a blind spot for how that could add value, because I'm like, I could do it, try it, fail 4 times and get it done before you get started. Now, all that being said, could I go get a lot of business cards and build relationships and meet and greet other people at Traverse City? Absolutely. Could I be good at it? Absolutely. The difference is at the end of the night, the eyes are doing what?
Party.
Yeah, they're looking for the next party, right? They're looking for the after party because they're not going to be able to sleep for hours because this was so much fun. What am I doing?
Watching TV in bed.
Oh, no, I'm probably don't have the energy to turn the TV on. I can just barely make it up to the hotel room and I'm crashing. Because certain things give you energy and certain things take energy away. So that borderline, and you know, also, it's how far out are you? Closer to the center, it's less of an impact on you. Further you are to the edge, the more drastic it is. So the further you are to any edge leads you to certain blind spots. So if you're way out on this edge, a lot of times you don't have much S because it's kind of a push-pull. You just got to look at it, what your lowest end is, where your potential blind spots. Any other questions on this? I don't want to rehash the whole thing. Just wanted to remind you, because this is a useful tool if you want to communicate better. Because that platinum rule works best for that. Communicate to people the way they want to be communicated to. If you know they're a D, give them the bottom line. I, talk about how it impacts people. S, what's the process? C, here's the data. That way they can relax and hear you. All right, we also talked about the 5 dysfunctions of the team. We went through the model. We said it was a hierarchy. If you have this dysfunction, you can't really move up and become more of a successful team if that's what's impacting you. And guess what? Your lowest is the bottom of the hierarchy. It's the absence of trust. Not unusual, because does anybody remember forming, scoring, norming, performing, how we used to teach team development? Well, think about it. This fear of vulnerability where I'm not going to ask questions. I'm afraid to make a mistake. I won't admit I don't know anything. Or I don't know something. Hopefully I know something, but I don't know anything. That's forming. That's what happens when you're forming. It's your first date. I'm not going to ask you questions that I don't really want the answers to. I want to get along. I want there to be a second date. It's going to be really formal. And then you start storming. It's the fear of conflict. Overcoming that fear of conflict. So, oh, wait a minute. I don't think I agree with that. Well, what do you mean by that? Explain to me. And conflict is key, because from conflict comes clarity. And I have the clarity so we can both commit to the same thing. If you guys don't have the conflict of this visioning thing, and we just come up with a nice little vision statement, we're not gonna do any good. It's not gonna help you at all. Because you're not going to know what it means to the other people. So we're gonna promote a little conflict. So you have to ask each other what you mean by that, so that we can all agree to this, and then hold each other accountable for it. And focus on the team's results, the city's results, rather than our individual status and ego. That's what that means. So it's not surprising at all that this would be your lowest, because you're a new team, relative. New teams are always going to be low. You don't know each other yet. So you generated some ideas on how to overcome that. I just wanted to kind of refresh that. This is what was important to me. So what you said was, in order to overcome this absence of trust, it is important for you to be open, transparent, and clear in your communications. Be open and able to discuss your differences. Actively listen to each other and try to understand. Create opportunities to be together and get to know each other better. This is a good one. Promote and resolve healthy conflict. Assume good intent and give each other the benefit of the doubt. Be intentional about building relationships. Attack the issue, not the person. Set clear direction, vision, and pursue it consistently. And check in on each other. So that wasn't me. That was what you guys did. All right. How does that help you build trust, compassion, stability, and hope? I surprised myself. I did ask a rhetorical question. Just think about that. If you do these things, it's going to help you build trust with other people. It shows compassion. It helps build stability and hope for the future. 3 key takeaways from this model. The importance of trust. You're not going anywhere without it. Second, the importance of ideological conflict, because from conflict comes clarity. You don't discuss it and question it. I mean, a lot of people just like, it makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, but it's necessary. Because then, if I don't, then you don't know what I'm talking about. Remember the closet organizer story? Every organization I work with has these little closet organizers all over the place because somebody didn't question it up front. And then they delivered the project and they're like, why'd you do that? Well, that's what we said we did. That's not what I meant. Gotta have it up front, because at the end, you've already spent the money and the time, you can't get it back. And the third thing is the importance of everyone committing to the same thing, the shared vision. Now, I wrote that last time, so that's really cool that that's here this time, because that's what we're gonna do. When I did the calls, I asked you what the key three things and what we should focus on, et cetera. When I asked how you would describe the role of council, you told me, and then I asked, do you think other council members agree what the council's role is? 3 said no. 1 said maybe 1 or 2. 1 said some do. And we had a mostly yes and 1 yes. So we did a role of the council statement. Have you guys revisited this since our last session? No? Okay. Well, now you have. Well, we'll do this. So you wrote the role of city councils to work together, communicate with, seek input from, and provide a voice for the whole community. We serve the city by establishing strategic direction and developing policies and strategies that will ensure transparency and enable us to achieve our vision. We adhere to the charter and rules of council in the execution of our duties. Council supports city staff by providing resources, direction, fiscal oversight, and guidance that enable staff to implement the operational and tactical aspects of the vision. I highlighted the things that I thought was the key things that you guys said. Your role is to work together, provide a voice for the whole community, and establish a strategic direction. You support city staff by providing resource direction, fiscal oversight, and guidance. That could be the whole role right there. The other stuff's nice, gets a little bit more detail. Cool. Any pushback on that? Then we asked, what do you need from each other? This is what you said you needed from staff. A lot of it's more about other options, more complete information, et cetera. Consistency and accuracy. And then what does staff need from council? Work as a team, view them as partners, clear direction, consistency, et cetera. And the good news is that concludes the review of January and gets us to our vision exercise. Questions or comments before we move on to the next? Thank you for opening those doors. All right. Brian, you had mentioned that there was, is it here yet, you know, or?
For dinner?
Okay.
Looks like we need to keep going for a few minutes.
What I'd like to do is set this up, and if the food comes, we can go get it, because this first part is gonna be a solo exercise. And give you time to think about it. But I always like to put this in context. I hate the fact that I just redundantly said that, because that's what you just did was context. But it is, it's important that we all use the terminology the same way. Words matter. And I've seen the words mission, vision, goals, strategies, objectives, and tactics used interchangeably like it doesn't matter, and it does. So I want, at least for us, to put a framework in place where we keep it simple. So that if we're arguing whether something is strategic or tactical, we're talking about the same thing. Because the thing I hate the worst is when we agree and we're arguing about it. I hate it. So, mission. Mission is simply your fundamental reason to exist. It's what you do and who you do it for. This is the reason that I don't do mission statements for cities. Every city has 95% the same mission, at least. To provide a clean, safe place for people to eat, work, stay, play. There may be a little bit of nuance in there, but it's substantially, that's what you're here to do as a city. To provide a community where people can be safe and all that good stuff. Now, however, your vision can be wildly different. I have cities that pick the innovator. I mentioned I never had one pick this one because nobody wants to be the Walmart. But heck, I'll be the Apple of cities. And they have the coolest festivals and concerts and attract people, and they build these big convention centers. And they do all of this because they're going to be in the best product. They're going to be the inventor. And I have cities pick Total Solution. And in those cities, you can call the fire department, and they'll come check your smoke alarms. And if you go out of town and leave your garage, did I close my garage door? You call the city, and they'll send somebody over there. Now, most cities will do that. Those cities make a bigger deal of it. What the Total Solution also does is they will monitor your water usage. And if it goes out of whack, they'll send you a note saying, I think you might have a leak. Now, Total Solution's not going to do that because it costs money. Right, okay. So your aspiration for market is kind of in the clouds, it's gonna be kind of fuzzy. It has to be aspirational. It can't be what you are now, because that's not a vision, that's a statement of what you are now. But what do you want to become in the future? And then you further need to define that, so you define that by a set of goals. And I mentioned we're gonna do 4 goals, we're gonna do that tomorrow morning. The goal, you have one for customer, one for financial, one for process, and one for your culture / employee. Because all those things, it's called a balanced scorecard set of goals, because you need all of those 4 things to deliver on your vision. And the evaluation is, if I do these 4 goals, if I accomplish these, will I be moving towards or accomplishing my vision? Those are the rooftop of the building. Now, if I'm on the ground floor and I want to get to the roof, what do you do?
Take the elevator.
Well, I wish you could. Most elevators don't go to the roof, that's the fast way. I'm gonna probably have to take the stairs. The stairwells are the broad avenues of effort that you need to employ to achieve the goals. Every now and then I gotta rest. Those are objectives. Those are the landing areas in the stairwell. At the end of year 1, here's where I want to be. At the end of year 2, here's where I want to be. At the end of year 3, here's what I want to be. So you can track your progress. Objectives are where measurement comes in. These goals are not measurable. Your vision is not measurable. The objectives that you're going to achieve on your way to implementing your strategies, however, are going to be measurable. They'll meet the SMART criteria, specific, measurable, achievable, results-oriented, time-bound. And the individual steps you take to get and achieve the objectives, those are your tactics. So that's the structure. And hopefully that helps us kind of get our heads around what the different words mean. Because the next thing we're going to do, we're going to focus on vision. The other thing I want to do, which bubble, somebody tell me, which bubble is the vision bubble in our performance and work results?
Future results.
Excellent. Yay. Yeah, that's what we're figuring out. What do we want the results to look like in the future? I have, I'm going to hand out the vision ideas from the survey, the vision ideas from the calls. And you all have, as the mayor mentioned, you may have 6 or 7 different visions at this point. You'll agree on some things. We're going to push it to the level where we can have alignment and agreement. Because there's a certain level that we all agree on stuff. And it's probably the more important stuff, and it's probably more than we think. I mean, there's not a person in this room would disagree that no kid should be hungry. Nobody's going to fight me. All right. This was in January, so the vision from the calls, cohesive, strong sense of community, consistency of amenities between east and west. It's walkable, it's lively, it's fun stuff to do. Don't have to leave town for work, good paying jobs, council's aligned, it's beautiful, it looks like people care, there's civic pride. The government cares for the people. We have engaged citizens, it's self-sufficient, it's well-run, has a reputation for being loving and kind and respected. Oh, and I mentioned I was going to talk a little bit about the difference between nice and being kind. Because this I saw the other day, it was one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. It was Simon Sinek interviewing Trevor Noah. You could search it on the internet. I highly recommend it. And Simon asked Trevor, you know, what's the difference between being nice and being kind? And he says, here's the difference. He goes, I find the Scandinavian people to be some of the kindest people on earth. But they're not very nice. Being nice, let's say you were working and you got a big black smudge on the side of your face. Being nice, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to hurt your feeling, I don't want you to feel bad. Being kind is being clear and to tell you, hey, being willing to put myself out there, to be uncomfortable, to tell you that something needed to change, to give you that feedback. Does that resonate with everybody? And it made me think about some of the ways I have treated my daughter in the past, that I was very nice to her, but I wasn't very kind. So when we were driving down here, she drove for a while. Maybe it's because I was in the car too. I'm like, hey, I give you a couple pieces of feedback. And she did not appreciate it. But I was being kind. I probably wasn't very nice. So we have the handouts. I'm gonna give you some time and, we'll grab dinner. It should be set up here in a minute. Come back and as you're eating dinner, kind of jot your thoughts down on vision. I'm not asking you to write a vision statement. And for me, your vision is simply when you close your eyes and think about the city 5, 10 years from now. How do you want it to look? That's a vision. That's what you see. And what words describe that? It could be a word cloud, it could be a set of bullets, it could be just words, it could be a paragraph, it could be the most beautiful vision statement ever written. I don't care. What conveys that vision that you have when you close your eyes and think of it? That's what we want. Are there any questions about that? Is it clear what I'm asking you to do? All right, so what's the first step?
Get dinner.
Go get dinner, yes. Excellent.
Get dinner.
Yeah, go get dinner, take a break. This concludes the bulk of me talking tonight, so I appreciate it. The rest of it's gonna be you working. So Claudia, hopefully we won't fall asleep while we're working.
No, not at all.
Yes, I
Now
told-
that we open the doors, it's like cooling down somewhat.
I told Claudia says, if it's this hot, I'm gonna fall asleep. No, that's- I don't have any rules, that's not. So, well,
For
you're
food,
welcome to go grab
yeah,
dinner.
for food, it's Ilario's Italian. So when you're looking at the table on the very far right, we've got gluten-free option in that first single column, and then second column we've got vegetarian options, and then the rest is whatever you want. So salad
Ever
bowls.
we come to eat here, or should
Yeah.
they? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You headed out?
So Laura Lee, almost said it once. I might have said it without noticing. I might have said it without noticing it. So thank you for that. That was very kind of you. I love it.
Different. It'd be different. I went from a innovative council to now look at sustainability, things like that.
Yeah, it was best product, it was last,
It's
it was
always-
less than a year ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, it was the best.
I don't know, we're about to find out.
We're kicking ass, we're gonna be, whatever it is, driving that force to now.
organization has to be geared around that. So you can see the diametric opposition of best total cost to solving your broader problem. Well, I'd love to help you, but we don't, whatever that happens to be. And it kind of boils down to, and one of the things I wanted you to think about as you're going through and starting to develop your thoughts around vision, I love, the book is called The Discipline of Market Leaders. And I love it because it's discipline, right? Discipline's the hard stuff. It's not rocket science, it's very simple. The hard part's the discipline, to adhere to it, and not to chase the shiny new thing. And their subtitle is probably my favorite part. The subtitle is Narrow Your Focus, Choose Your Customers, and Dominate Your Market. Don't try to be everything to everybody. No matter what decision you make, some people aren't. Now, the pushback I get from cities, you don't get to choose our customers. You get to choose your customers the same way that Walmart does. You choose what you want to be, you choose your vision, you choose who you want to appeal to, and you invite them to come in. And sometimes there's going to be people that come in and say, I don't like it here. I might go into Walmart and say, man, I wandered around for 2 hours, I couldn't get anybody to help me. Walmart's like, yeah, but the prices are low. They know what they're trying to deliver. Here's the value we're doing. If you want that, go over there.
I was telling Amber and Jennifer that throughout the entire time that we were talking about the value propositions, the only thing that I could think of was how some of those companies treat their workers exceptionally poorly. Like Starbucks, Union Busters, Walmart, their employees like have to be on Medicaid, SNAP, CHIP, WIC, the whole 9 yards. Apple has a whole bunch of like labor abuses. Manufacturing industry has done wrong by a lot of like the automation like workers and whatnot. And so it's like the thing that I always think about is you can have customers, which is great, but if you ain't got workers, you can't do anything. And so like to me, it really matters that when we talk about, that we actually recognize that like there's also differences in how each of those companies come to be. No matter if they're successful, it's off of the backs of who, off of the exploitation of who, off of the labor of who.
Right.
There's an internal and an external value to all that.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I love it, right? So the value proposition is the external. How are you going to deliver value to your customers? You're going to intentionally deliver value in a certain way. You're either going to give them the lowest cost, or you're going to give them innovation, you're going to solve their broader problem, you're going to be customer intimate, and understand more about and then the internal is the value operating model. And that's all about how you organize internally. Right? And it's the culture you build, and it's what are the elements? There's your infrastructure, your IT, your culture, management structure, all of it's different. Right? So you think about an innovation company, their organization structure is all at the top. All of the high-paid people, the innovation company, it's all at the bottom, right? And those you're going to reward those people that come up with the patents and innovations and all that other stuff. You think of Walmart, it's all at the top. I'm going to reward all these people. These people can go around saying because I have a process and a procedure and an SOP that you're going to follow, and you're an interchangeable part. So if you want to quit, I don't care. Now, to your point, you listed companies in each of the 3 value propositions that may not be treating their employees very well.
There's some that do it well.
Yeah. So that's why we come up with a balanced scorecard set of goals that we're going to do tomorrow, because one of those is what is your goal for your employees? What do your employees look like? What kind of culture are you going to get them to work in order to achieve your vision and deliver on your value proposition? Because long-term sustainability, if you don't take care of your employees, you will not have long-term sustainability. If you don't have good processes, you can't sustain long-term. If you don't take care of your customers. So we plan it, typically, we look at financial first, then customer, then process, then employee. But when you run it, it's upside down. Your employees work through a process to delight the customer, and the money just happens. If you're out chasing money, you're in, not long-term sustainable. So,
What happened to them?
yeah, exactly. There's a story in a book I read, in the introduction, and I loved it, because it was this girl got out of college, and she's really excited. It's her first day at work, and she chose Enron, because she read their annual report. And she pulled up their value statement, and she goes, I love your core values as an organization, this is why I picked Enron. I'm so excited to work for this company. And her new manager said, forget about all that. That doesn't mean anything. We don't pay attention to that. It's all about how much money you make. You make the money for the customers. And that's why they developed the balanced scorecard, because organizations were only focused on the financial. Well, financial happens when you take care of the rest of it. So, anyway, I love the comment. That's why we're gonna do that. But I didn't want, like I said, I could do 2 hours on this.
It's interesting.
It is, I find it fascinating. Remember the subtitle, narrow your focus, choose your customers. And I'm not saying exclude people. I mean, anybody who wants can walk into Walmart. As long as I remember to wear my pants that day, I'm welcome in.
Sometimes not.
Yeah, but I may not be equipped to take advantage of the value that they're offering me. I walk into Nordstrom and I'm like, dang, this is expensive. I get it cheaper over here at Walmart. So it just depends on what value you're looking for. And you get to choose, when you do your vision, who you're gonna appeal to. And it doesn't mean that other people can't come in, they're welcome. And they may adapt, and they're gonna say, hey, I really like this, I really like it here. But you're gonna have some people, the reason it says narrow your focus, choose your customers, is choose who you're gonna appeal to. Because you're not gonna please everybody. Trying to be everything to everybody is a recipe for disaster. No matter what decision you make, some people can get pissed off about it.
Say it all the time. We see it some of the people some of the time, but we'll never please everybody.
Yeah. So, anyway. So, with all that in mind, you're at work right now. I'm gonna give you 14 minutes kind of to, read through. I think I handed up the vision. You should have one that said, when you close your eyes and think about the future of the city, what do you want it to look like? And you should have one that's stapled.
No, this one.
You can take Jesse's, he's not doing anything.
Well, we're not doing the vision, you guys are.
He's working on tomorrow.
And it should have like a previous and new or something on that. Is that one?
Here, what's your vision?
Did I hand that one out yet? No?
It's rough around here.
If not, here, take this one. So on the stapled one, there's in the phone summary, which is the one that's small type and stapled, there's a box for vision towards the end.
Oh, thank you. I'm
And this
confused.
is from the survey. I'm gonna give you this one. This was the original survey. And I think I asked the same question on the new survey. You can look at that one now. So this is simply just a list of what y'all's responses were to that.
We don't have a comparison from last year's, do we?
I have last year.
I'm just
That'd be
wondering how many-
interesting.
I'm reluctant to show it to you before you come up with your own, because I don't want to guide you in either
Right.
direction.
You appreciate that.
But we will look at it after we.
What if it's the same? Wouldn't that be wild?
They might be.
There's a lot of similarities based on what you guys said in phone interviews and whatnot.
Crazier things that happen.
Mayor's like, no way.
I think the court
So take about 10, 11 minutes, finish your dinner, and jot your thoughts down.
Yeah,
And then go get you in small groups.
Turn this towards red.
Do we have another one?
Oh, the feedback. We just have to use the mic every time we go. I just still remember Mr. Adolph's Hill farm across the street, so it's gonna be hard for me. You just, because I'm looking at Kyle from many moons ago, and now, oh,
Yeah.
spaceships flying everywhere. Robots walking down the aisle.
Give you the 2-minute warning. I have 22 seconds left, but it looks like everybody's pretty much done. So we're gonna split you into 3 groups, so 2 groups of 2 and 1 group of 3. And what I want you to do is put your thoughts together and come to consensus on what you want the vision or the future of the city to look like. So we'll start with Courtney, you're 1. So number off 1 through 3 and remember your number.
2.
1, 2, 3.
Where do you go? We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, no, this is council only.
These two.
No, council.
And then
3 and 1.
We got 7.
we got 7.
Okay, is it 2 groups
Oh,
of
wait,
2,
wait,
one
wait,
group of
hold on a second. I might have
We
made a
said
mistake.
2 groups, we said 3.
Let me do my math again.
Okay, is it 2 groups of 2, 1
3.
group of 3.
3 groups, yeah, we want 3 groups. So 1,
So
2,
Mark and I
3,
can do one. And
1,
1, 2, 3.
2, you got, Michael, you're 3,
Okay.
you're 1. So the ones will have 3 people there. And the other 2 will just be a pair.
Okay.
So there'd be 3 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s. So 1s get together, 2 gets together, 3s, come to consensus on the vision.
Just hold your hand up.
I'm in 3.
So you're with Tobias.
Mark, you're in the cool group.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's me here.
yeah, group up.
Oh, man.
So
Plan that any better.
groups
Yeah.
2 and 3, I'm gonna recombine you into a group of 4 once you come to consensus as a pair, so just be ready for it. You don't have to get it perfect, so you have another shot at it. You'll have another bite at the apple.
Y'all ready for this?
All right,
All right,
Let me pull you up a chair.
here's my
yeah,
vision.
I'll give you, 12 minutes. Come to consensus. Talk about it. All right, 12 and a half. 12 and a half.
Where do we go? Where I go?
Try not to expand into your
Well,
chair.
that's fine. Or I can go over there, or we can go that side.
Let's go.
We can go chit chat over there.
Again, this could be a set of words, a set of bullets, a word cloud, a paragraph. If you want to write a statement, that's great.
I tried to do just a couple bullet points so that it didn't overwhelm you.
It's hard to have an expansive view because you're limited by your time, you're limited by money.
Hello, Mike.
So,
I would say don't think about what your constraints are. Think about what the vision is.
Yeah, don't think about the how.
And then, we can work within the parameters of what resources we have available to accomplish as close to that overall vision.
I think a lot of it is gonna be high level enough not to get bogged down into that.
Right, and that's I think what this is supposed to be. It's kind of a high level, broad, very generic, on what we think the future of Kyle should look like.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through,
Wave our magic wand, so to speak.
you want to figure out where you want to go, what you want to achieve. Don't worry about how. First thing you're gonna question is, I don't think we can get there. Don't worry about that. Determine that you want it, and figure out how.
So you wanna start?
Yeah, the bullet points I wrote down were like ecologically sensitive. So as we grow, I wanna make sure that, you know, we're not neglecting our environment and our green spaces and things like that. Civic pride, you know, there's, you know, when you say I'm from Kyle, what feeling does that give you? You know, are you like, I'm from Kyle? I'm from Kyle. You know, I want us to have some things that people, you know, when I ask, what are you proud of? That they can rattle off, oh, this. Instead of, oh man, I wish we had this, or I wish we had that. There's a whole lot of negativity when people speak about Kyle, and I want to flip that script. So we're like, oh no, this place is amazing. I love this. We've got this. Well, the problem with that is we need to quit shopping. The number 2 Panda Express in the entire state is in Kyle, Texas.
Is that because it's the only Chinese food from here?
Right.
Well, Hue is like Japanese, Chinese kind of, so I don't ever count them.
Take Fort Tyson over by Whataburger. Right. Not quite the same.
Oh, I heard about them, yeah.
They've got a yellow curry. I get to the point it is a little bit, but it comes, yeah. So I order with the rice, and I'm about halfway full. Like I'm full halfway down the bowl, but I can't stop. Like it's just like I will make myself sick. I kid you not. And I know ahead of time. I'm gonna lose all self-control. I'm gonna plow through this thing. You're right. In preparation. But I want to have us, you know, develop things that we're proud of. And then a real big one for me is developing a diverse, strong local economy. When I talk to people about local business and how to make that not just as from a recruitment standpoint, but I think it's like 68% of our residents commute into either Austin or San Marcos. If those jobs were existing, what kind of profound quality of life would that be? So, I didn't argue with her in the meeting, but that development over by the hospital, because we talked about in the last meeting, Mom was like, oh, we don't need office space. I was like, if the office that you work in were right there, would your life be better?
There's some yes and no, because there's how many offices are gonna move from Austin area to Kyle.
Right.
Kind of depends. We're just not that big. But I don't know what our office space utilization is. I know office space in Austin tanked after COVID. Especially in the downtown. Whatever, I mean, it's always a possibility. I love to see what the survey of that looks like, what their current capacity is. One thing that's really challenging now is anything that's here is so expensive to turn up. Especially if it's managed by an administrative company, because those administrative fees make it go through the roof. Our small businesses are having a hard time sustaining their rents because of all of that. And part of that is taxes and water rates. So those are things that are.
Part of it too is just supply.
So the biggest part of it though is not supply, because the rents for the spaces are actually reasonable. And so normally you would see those rents going up if there was too much on the market. It is the taxes, so what they call it triple net, so common area maintenance, administrative fees, taxes, all of those
The
things.
average retail square foot, like 18 years ago, was 13 to 16, and now it's between 30 and 40. And I'm hearing Newquest, they're asking for 45 to 60.
That's pretty normal even in Austin where there's quite a bit.
When you look at like how much like a mom and pop clothing store would have to cover.
Right. And so, I mean, it kind of depends on the space size. Specs is doing $35 a square foot. But a lot of that is because it's new build, Class A. The more affordable it is, it's gonna be like Class C. And so that's been a real big challenge in getting, like, clients into rented spaces because the trees not to make it out of their affordable. So that's kind of a bummer. But a lot of our stuff is new, so it's gonna cost more because they need to recoup the cost of building the space.
Right.
And that's just unfortunate, and then all those extras on top of it just drives up. Insurance is so high, commercial too. And then they have to have another policy on top of what they're paying for the landlord. So there's some definite challenges in that and getting affordable space in. And I'm not sure that that office space and that PUD is gonna be affordable for many people. We would have to see kind of what that would lease out for. But I think we're probably running close on time, so mine was kind of no east-west divide. Like, I wanna see kind of the same road types, qualities, community, neighborhoods, amenities, things like that. The grid being built out, business diversity, small business friendly, local hubs, so promoting interaction and a sense of community.
I've got, thriving, self-sufficient city where residents can live, work, and enjoy life without leaving town, focusing on responsible growth, strong local jobs, having community pride, equal amenities across the city. And our main focus is the responsibility to ensure that Kyle grows in a way that protects our taxpayers and strengthens our civic community.
I think those all pretty much work together. So, the divide would be, your ecological can be part of that too, having equal parks on both sides and, making sure, maybe doing boulevards at some point instead of, what we have now, which is empty, just straight paved streets. I grew up in a city that had tons of trees where there was canopies all over the way. And so that was always really nice. And that's kind of hindrance to walkability or getting around by bike. Even if we have trails, it's so hot. And then you're kind of limited how you plan your neighborhoods because the trees you have to have them far enough away from the house so it doesn't damage the foundation or sidewalks, especially on the east side. Yeah. I had one that inundated my main line because it wasn't getting enough water in my front yard. And like some idiot planted it right over the main water line.
Oak tree that roots went through my sewer line.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Since
That
there's
happened
three
while I was
of
on
you,
vacation.
there's nobody to recombine you with. So you guys get to be one and done.
Oh no, it backed up into the house.
Whenever you're ready, capture your thoughts and vision. You guys, you could be the green team.
I will task somebody who can write better than me. Voluntold. That's how we all got here.
That's what happened last time. I volunteered for it, now she's paying it back.
It's the Texas friendly way.
I lost that.
But is it nice or is it kind?
I got you.
I try to be kind.
Clear as kind.
All right, what are we doing?
I do too.
So when you want combined, like, do you want everything that we said, or do you want us to
I want you
combine
to
it?
agree.
Okay.
What is the stuff you agree on? What do you, when you three get together and talk about it, what's your common vision for the city?
Okay.
And if it's difficult to agree, take it up a level.
Okay. So I think two of us talked about the bridging of the east-west divide. So do we want to keep it at that high level?
Unified Kyle.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Such a big paper. It makes me want to.
I think for the last few years we've been working towards that. I know that was kind of a focus for us last year.
Yeah.
Well, that's you know, I learned that's how the, like, Kensington.
we said,
It's like, what? Because it cost $17 million. So that was just in one year. That was the amount we spent for January 30 together. So to keep it balanced, we said, well, we'll do a part on the east side, and we'll allocate the same dollar amount. I was like, well, we can probably do that, especially if it's gonna be a nature park. How much money does it take to grow a plant? Like, and I'm not like the botanist guy, so.
And I think if you wanna keep it natural and do things like fresh and gravel, instead of paved paths, that's kind of my vision, because yes, you may not be able to do those every 3 years, but that's certainly a lot cheaper than pavement, and it's gonna keep the cool. Yeah, business diversity. I really liked community commercial, so, having community hubs of commercial so that you don't have to drive as far. I know that kids, Spooner Ranch, like that whole thing out there is really, like there is a central commercial zone surrounded by commercial, so you don't have everything, but you might have a small store that's actually a grocery store, not like a Dollar General.
Okay, so what is it?
Local commercial hubs, which is kind of what the vibe though is, yeah. How those are set up.
I think what led to that was like the 15-minute city concept where you can get everything you need within 15 minutes. Like, so it takes you 15 minutes just to get out of your neighborhood. And that makes sense out there.
I'm so scared about two-step, once that all goes in, about being able to get out. Because 150
You know
already
that's
does.
completely paused, right? Like, there's no money, no funding.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
They're looking at New Quest to take that over.
Maybe they'll scrap the apartment complex there.
That's all they want.
No, no.
They come, they came to us 4 times last year. It's like, hey, can we do the apartments and then this? And we said, no, not this time. Because we know it's gonna happen. They'll throw the apartments in and give us the money to walk on.
That intersection, I was looking over the traffic lights for Mexico.
It was hard to go. It was hard to go.
Even the residential that's gonna be given 1,000 units. There were so many failing cycles. He also said it was even with all the improvements that they were making, especially with Kennedy. There's literally no improvements that they can do that will not back that up. And the elementary school backs it up, like, it's awful trying to get out of there. I'm at Four Seasons where that passion is. So, I'm like, no, please. I feel like we need more diversity of where apartments are going in at. I know apartments are shared. There are some that are on the other side of 21. I saw those start being. So this is the point. Seriously. That's Maxwell water.
Right, but we'll get blamed for them.
That's not our shit over there.
They don't know that.
All those Lennar, those are not ours. Was there anything else you wanted to add? You want the preservation of green space?
Y'all agree that that should be part of the vision?
I like that. It helps with the environment. I came from a very, very small town in North Carolina, so like we had 1,000 people. So it was kind of very large yards, it was very green. And so I like that for a community. Just everybody can meet each other, but that's kind of what you're supposed to get from like community hubs, I feel like. have communities within the larger community. Is what I would hope. Plum Creek was designed, yeah, from what I remember.
And it works pretty well. I probably know personally a quarter of the people in Plum Creek just because we, kids went to school together and, or sports or just, going to front porch days and doing it twice a year. Everybody comes out.
I would like to see every development have an amenity center for residents.
Unenclosed, climate controlled. Not just throw a roof over 4 pillars so that the sun makes it.
I would say clubhouse and pool.
Because so I'm thinking, just for context, Hometown Kyle, that little.
That pavilion, yeah.
Right, which for probably 2 or 3 months out of the year is perfectly fine.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not meeting out there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in late July.
I see it being more like, some neighborhood doesn't have a clubhouse, neighborhoods have a pool.
Yeah.
And so at least if you're at the pool with the pavilion, it's better than nothing, but like, I would love to have the 5 acres that was donated to the city with our neighborhood back, so that we could do pool and clubhouse with our neighborhood and the next neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I know the city has plans to build that out now, but I'd rather just have that land back. They've had it blocked off, and we can't even access Lake Kyle. And I'm like, that'd be nice to go for a neighborhood, so that we drive it around Lincoln Road to get to it.
Good judgment.
I want to say there hasn't been a couple times I'll have to fence.
Well, wasn't it like that overall design that we were talking about? Did have access on that side?
It's supposed to, but they have a fence or a gate, a big gate.
You guys
And
about
then-
done? Are you still working?
No, we're done.
When you're done getting on the wall?
And then even the easement that leads down between those two neighborhoods is all blocked off, so you can't bike there. I don't know, I guess it's a big spot.
That's good.
They wrote on stuff.
Put on the spot over here.
Really small.
That way it's.
It was a really big paper.
That's right, it's a really big piece of paper.
I mean, I can read it.
It's like it's framed.
Oh, that's amazing.
The real question is, why did you choose green?
My sister's in.
It was handed to me.
It was picked for us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
What's
that's
that?
fun. It's because we're
Have you ever
the
been to
best
Sedona?
team.
No.
It's one of my favorite places in the planet. My sister's there. She just sent me the
Oh, how
sunset picture.
pretty.
Wow.
I'm like, ah. Yeah, I never thought I'd like the desert that much, but just the hiking trails. It's one of the few vacations I've ever gone on and lost weight. Hiking miles every day.
All right, Mark, you didn't come from Nebraska, did you?
I did not.
You juggled?
More of a water sports guy.
Now remember, this is staff
Oh, so
and
you go
council.
scuba diving.
Yep.
It doesn't include.
Staff and
It's
council.
the most relaxing activity I've ever done. I can fall asleep underwater.
I have done my dive out. I'm an open water diver, and I would love to go and get my son and my husband and daughter certified so we can go take a scuba diving trip together. I would love to go to the Great Barrier Reef.
That was one dive away from being rescue diver certified.
Oh,
And my instructor actually talked me out of it.
Why?
Because once you get on that list, they need you, they'll call you.
Like your whole body?
And that is once you've experienced a recovery firsthand.
Yeah.
It's something that you can't ever shake. So
My aunt
make sure
used to do that.
you want to be the person that does that before you sign up for it.
I'm gonna sign
Yeah,
up.
so
to
basically
do-
he told me the story about finding a young girl in muddy waters. Like, by the time he realized where she was, it was about 12 to 14 inches from his face. And he said, I still have nightmares.
I'm the one that joins all your site, basically drinks and stuff. I watch the murder files, so.
I'm trying to think of the name of the movie, but it's with those kids, I think in Indonesia, that got the cave flooded, and they had to get the rescue divers in.
Just read about that.
There's a movie, so it's amazing, even if you know how it is.
story. I remember
Oh, it is a true story. I remember when they did that. But it is, I couldn't recommend it highly enough for everybody. My daughter loved it, my father-in-law loved it, I mean, every age.
I could not wrap my head around how complex that cave system was, and like how they had to go through this like little thing and then back up, and I was like, oh, no, I am not a spelunker.
Yeah.
So fun fact about me, when we did this with staff, I interrogated the entire staff, and I found out everybody's answers. I figured I wouldn't do that with you guys.
Okay, what do you know?
I know, right? You're down on my copy of your paper. I had half of it done last time, and I don't know where my paper is.
I already know yours.
That's totally fine. Once we start into this, it'll be.
All right.
We can do
So I'll
this
give you
all
mine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's called, 13 lives.
I want to go to the Prado Museum in Spanish.
That's you.
That is me. So I was a Spanish major.
Okay.
So this one, once I knew what state it was, I knew exactly which staff member it is.
So Mark, you might appreciate this. When I
Do you know who that is?
got dive certified, they did, the first dive was in a swimming pool in the middle of summer, and I wasn't thinking about it.
I don't think I know that.
And actually I had hair then, just thinning on top. So I spent half hour at the bottom of the pool with that sun beating down, just magnifying to the water. And I never thought about it, and it was my mom's birthday.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, we were gonna go to dinner to celebrate, and I came home and I jumped in the shower, and I took a shower, and I started to dry my hair, and I took that brush and I raked it across the top. Oh man, I had to peel myself off. That was like the most painful, I am, to this day, I can't even look at my mouth. Yeah, I was like, oh. Okay, and now I know why they wear hats, while they're underwater.
All of ours that we did, I was in the activations, and the university there had a massive pool. So we were in that thing indoors.
Oh, okay.
I didn't experience that.
So, yeah, and we did, one of our dives was in, I don't think Lake Whitney. It's very clear, oh, Boston Kingdom,
Yeah.
very clear, yeah. And then we did one in a river around here somewhere.
I did my advanced certification, Lake Travis, drove over here and spent,
I did that one, yeah. Yeah, we did Lake Travis.
at Whitney Point.
And it's got the different things that you go find
Yeah.
underwater. Yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, that's how they do the navigation piece of it.
Yes.
That was years ago.
Yeah,
Years.
the lake was turning over, so visibility was 0 when I did it. And so it was actually a true test.
Yeah.
When I did the, that square you're supposed to do, I ended up exactly on the right spot, but I kept going up and down.
It's good guesses.
You didn't do the night dive in that?
I figured it was rude.
Back then, I would have thought that was cool. But the older I get, the more claustrophobic. And I don't think a night dive would be
Yeah, you're getting close.
I didn't even know it was a really claustrophobic the first time I had an MRI. She put me in the machine, I'm like, oh. Because the original ones, I don't fit side to side. So I'm like this, and then I look up in this thing.
I gotta know who this is because it's Dana. Same investigation.
Well, you and I have very similar personalities.
Yes.
So.
All right, if you get, if you're done, let's get it on the wall. Let's put it right there. That's a good spot for it, right next to that metal bracket.
See, I can read
So
that.
here's what we're gonna do. Keep your pen. Keep your pen. What I want you to do is take your pen color and and go to the other group's flip chart.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna underline the things you like and agree with.
Christmas is terrible.
You're gonna put a question mark next to the things you either don't understand or you want more explanation for, and put an X next to those things that you might disagree with.
Okay.
Do not cross anything out. I know,
We're gonna move right there. Move that city. You just stay there, Tobias. We're gonna come to you.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I just, something.
Okay. Oh, yes. So what are we doing now?
underline the things you like, question mark next to those things you're not sure about, X next to those things you disagree with.
You like that, right? Yeah. Just gotta make sure. You didn't cry?
Yeah. I want people to be proud of their hair. I mean, I don't want them to like not be proud of their hair.
Is this our first?
There you go, that's what you're talking about.
Small businesses?
Local commercial outside.
What does it mean?
Yeah, I need more info on that.
I'll start back with the so.
Okay. Yeah, easy.
Easy peasy, Georgia
Good job,
easy.
ladies, good job.
Having a little bit more trouble now.
Because it's written so big.
Look, at least we can read it, you know?
Yeah.
I can read it from over here.
Get that red marker up. What's this? I'm really confused. You question it. Question it.
Ours is perfect. I'm like, that's perfect. I don't know what they're.
Courtney's dissecting it. You gotta get the details.
I need to start telling myself that.
You're till what, 10? You're till 2? Alright. Yeah.
I want the whole city to look like Plum Creek. That's what I want. I want everybody to be able to live in Plum Creek.
Don't live in Concord.
I need a yard.
Come to Kensington Trails. Half my neighbors.
What? I have $3.
The neighbor behind me has 3
Yeah.
great candies.
Get up.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Everybody's gotta get up.
And barking
Oh,
all the time.
gotta get
My
up.
neighbor told me one time, they're like, I need
Come on, ladies. Let's go on.
Starting with ours, the piece de resistance, you know, over here. I know. Right? They're super good too. They're like
Colorado.
I don't have to question anything. Okay, so, are you guys ready? Yeah. You ready to discuss it? You got any more to go? All right, so they liked affordable and equitable. They liked unique green spaces, and they like feeling safe, welcome, and inclusive. Got a question next to public transportation. So what's the nature of your question?
It's what is your, view or your vision of what public transportation looks like for Kyle? Is it what we have now, or is it like Metro, or is it railways, like?
That's operational. This is just being assuring that people can get around town
Yeah, in a way that is accessible to them.
to them.
So, like, that would include, you know, like things like walkability,
Yeah.
bikeability, if we needed to support seniors in a better way, you know, supporting seniors, like, you know,
Vans.
that sort of stuff.
Me and Mike like buses.
That's
Yeah.
just,
You like
Having
what?
a mass public transport option.
It could be, what did you like? I'm sorry, what was the word you said?
Like buses.
Buses,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what we like.
it
That's
could
what
be
I
any
said,
and
but
all
that's
of
the first time I
us.
heard anybody say that.
Really? I used to live in Iowa City, and we had doctors and students, and everybody lived on bus.
Yeah.
There was,
As a person who didn't have a car for like the first
Right.
20-something years of my life. Yeah.
So-
I do. I'm like, I use
Public
the bus all the time.
transportation, what you guys really mean by that is mobility,
Yes.
accessibility.
Yes.
It's an accessible city.
We're divided by 35, right?
Right.
So we have to make sure that, you know, especially with all the retail that's coming down on the railroad track, we have to make sure we have kids or people that can be employed over there. Cause, you know, businesses fail, so.
Yeah, so based on that explanation, would you guys underline that or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more of a broader just mobility for the city
Right.
and multi-modes.
Right, so,
So yes, I definitely
It's
agree
like
with that.
mobility.
Yeah.
so the reason I asked the question is that what's gonna happen next is that I'm gonna take things and mash them up, create a statement of your vision.
Yeah, we would,
And you guys are gonna tell me whether I got it right or not.
we would go with mobility.
Yeah, mobility's good, yeah.
Mobility's good.
Yeah, but in hindsight, on my 2 cents on that was to get a mass transportation system going to get people from east side, west side, north central, all that, all in.
That's
So-
operational.
From the, yeah, so from a visionary
But it's
standpoint.
still a vision.
No, so here's where I'm gonna disagree with you. You can picture what you want, but ask yourself why. Why do you want a mass transit system?
That's why.
Why?
Those are my reasons, to be able to get people from accessibility from all over
Yeah.
the Kyle to
So,
use.
so that Kyle is accessible, that has good
Sure.
mobility,
Yeah.
et cetera. So if you're down here and they're like, I want buses, why? Take it up a notch. Because if it was accessible and you had good mobility and you didn't have a single bus in the, would you be okay with that? And you're like, yeah. I mean, what I'm trying to achieve is this is my vision, everybody can get around and, okay. And then the healthy and,
Livable neighborhoods, we were pretty, I think, fine with, but what, define healthy.
I think I know kind of where they're going, but I wanna hear from you guys what your thought was, so.
So I think like the healthy part is, health is like, there's like the 7 determinants of health, right? So like that would include things like, being intentional about where businesses, warehouses and stuff are placed, like in adjacent to neighborhoods, right? Because like I gave the example of like in East Austin, they have extraordinarily high rates of asthma attacks and more kids die from asthma attacks on the east side than on the west side of Austin because of how the city grew and developed. So like being intentional about those things, healthy also would include like things like neighborhood connectivity. So like, you know, like our trail system and making sure that people can walk, right, have access to like a healthy activity. Health also would mean things like making sure that the roads are safe, drivable, and the sidewalks are walkable and safe.
And then the homes themselves.
The homes themselves are also.
And the lots, and if we're paying attention to even the neighborhoods that aren't the cypress forest, like cypress forest, but those that don't, the residents don't have the resources to make that neighborhood more healthy.
So you bring up a good point, because over where Coral Ridge is, you have all those warehouses, and then you also have Waterstone, Limestone, and yeah, it's kind of weird to see the industrial mixed with the housing.
So it's just about being, it's about being intentional about that, because that all contributes to the health of a person that lives here.
And to a city.
yeah, because I read that, I'm glad you said that, because when I read that, I thought healthy meant something different.
Let's say, for example, Waterloo and the wastewater treatment plant right nearby. The complaints that people had constantly, I mean, you're right by a park and you have those issues with the odor and everything else. I mean, that makes it.
So we need to address things like that, which we are, but, yeah.
All right, any other questions or comments about this?
That's
No, it was
providing roads.
So again, if you notice, what we did is we promoted some healthy conflict and got a little clarity. So let's do it again over here. But you just liked everything they said.
That reminds me of the vibe.
Okay, what do we got over here? We've got a unified Kyle, so one city, right? Everybody like that? Community pride, business diversity. I'll ask the question, what does that mean?
Small businesses, sorry, that's for you guys.
Yes.
I'm sorry, did you write this one too?
Thought about that one.
We were looking at it, like having sufficient office space, having local businesses come in, small businesses, having companies come in so that people don't have to leave, they can be employed here, work here, live here. You know, more than just the chain fast food restaurants, having something that really creates a sense of, I love my city that I live in.
And also for a diverse workforce.
Mhm.
Okay.
Work, live, eat. No play.
No, the play has to be there. But we did have a question on what y'all meant by local commercial hubs.
So it's kind of the design that we have with the Vibe right now, where you have small centralized hubs. I like the kind of thought of having local retail commercials, so that's kind of surrounded by your residential, so that you don't have to drive these main routes necessarily to get to the small things that you need.
I was talking to Mark about that, like in Austin, they just passed neighborhood serving zones, which allows for like stuff like a coffee shop or like a bookshop to open up between neighborhoods that's like surrounded by residential.
Yeah.
So people can go to there, you know, and like, you know, experience it, and it's easily and accessible. Okay, so
I
yeah.
like the idea of having small mini markets, kind of like you would have in the inner city. So
Oh, we got that. We got Dollar General. We got
Well,
Bread Basket.
I would like
We
to.
got a gas station.
I would like something that's
Poco
more.
Loco, come on. You already got it all.
No, I don't want more Poco Loco.
We're talking more like bodega, you know, give me a little nice little
Something
deli.
unique and mom and pops and like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like
Mixed use development.
Yeah.
Which is what we're encouraging in the city now. But it would be nice to have some ordinances that would facilitate that right now, because if you want to put a coffee shop in a place that's not zoned right, it's really a big
Y'all hear that for the
problem.
UDC? Neighborhood serving zones, okay.
And I know I like even the live work things. So they have some of those down in San Marcos over near the, it's their new courthouse that they built.
University area.
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
The square.
So that is like a shop on the bottom and then living space up top.
I think that's the city of Kyle strived for a lot of years, and I don't know if it necessarily works.
I don't know if it works for here, but I like the concept, and so it's something that I would be looking for if it had the
That's
right
what we're
fit.
trying to, maybe I think at one time we
Yeah.
thought for the downtown.
And then
We
the
had
problem that
one
you're gonna
that
get
was-
is if you don't fill the bottoms with work, then it just becomes home. It
Yeah.
becomes more apartments.
So, again, what is your
Sorry.
vision? What are you trying
Okay.
to create, right? And if you want it, you're gonna figure out how to do it. So
But I
I just
think you
put
could
multi-use
definitely-
development, because
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, I wanna make sure I understand it right. So like Addison Circle, if you've ever been there, there's all these shops and restaurants in the bottom and then 3 or 4 stories of apartments. So people, and then there's businesses right there too. So they get up in the morning, they get on their bike, they ride to their job. They'll stop at the coffee shop, get a cup of coffee, go to work, come home, stop at the restaurant, have dinner, and go home.
Yeah.
So they, within a 2-3 mile radius, they're not really going much farther.
Yeah, that's a lot like the La Verde area, the bricks and mortar district. That's what the downstairs on Finner was always supposed to be, was shops and coffee shops and
Right.
stuff like that.
And for them, it was a necessity, right, because they didn't have land, so they needed to increase the
Right.
density. I don't know, do you guys have that problem?
We are only 48% built out. We've
That's
got
right,
land.
you've got opportunities to do other things, but this is what communities do when they run out.
Well, and San
But it's
Marcos has
healthy
been
anyway.
doing that.
Yes, absolutely.
So like with their apartment complexes, they've been doing a lot of businesses on the bottom, coffee shops, restaurants, things like that. And
We were
then-
just talking about like that might work over by ACC. That would be a great opportunity for
For
that.
the
Like in certain
students.
areas where like you're not gonna get that off of 150, or
Yeah.
you're not gonna get, you know, yeah, in the right places. I think it would totally work.
And again, that's getting down more granular, but that was kind of the
Right.
thought process to put that line item there.
Yeah.
Cool. I think I have what I need to create an initial draft for you guys.
Okay.
So with your permission, I'm gonna take and match these up and create a vision statement and let you guys review it. While I do that, I'm gonna kick you guys off on the next exercise.
No rest
So
for
if
the
you-
wicked.
Oh, no. We have, I wanna optimize
I
everyone's
was like, I
time.
want to be weary.
That too.
No rest.
Well, I wanna get everybody out on time.
Oh, what time was that? I'm sorry, 11?
We scheduled 9:30, so that's what I'm shooting for.
9:30.
Yeah, which is 15 minutes from now.
Really, it's that late?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Can we have margaritas now?
No. No, I have made that mistake once in my life. I was like, oh, that'd be a good idea. Let's bring in the margarita machine. It'll make people more productive. As soon as they had that first margarita, it was all over.
I decided that probably wasn't a great idea.
They were just sit there all night. There was I got a better idea.
Oh, no, there was none of that. There
see
was
how
just
tomorrow
drinking
goes.
margaritas. There was no work being done.
Hey,
No
hey.
productive conversations.
That's what I ran into.
It was fun.
I think my best after a couple glasses of wine.
Okay.
I think I do too, but when you get a group of people together, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Here, will you pass those down? All right, I promise to tell you all the truth
Uh-oh.
and to be kind, but this is not gonna look very nice. You gonna pass those down? Mark? Thanks. All right, so I asked you on the survey, how do you feel like council, if you had to rate on a scale of 1 to 10, how pleased are you with how council currently works together? Now, I use this rating scale a lot, and when things are good, you usually get an 8 or a 9. Some people will give you a 10, but it's rare. Because it, you know, it can always be better. If things are really bad, you might get a 6. Maybe a 5.
It's depressing.
Where
On
would
the
you say a
average, you had a
4.14 falls?
4.14 on the average.
That's higher than that.
Now, it's a scale of 1 to 10. Somebody figured out how to give it a 0. I don't know how, I didn't know that was possible. So I'm just telling you, this is the feedback. So the bottom line is, and you have on the back of that graph, you'll see what the individual responses were. So the minimum was 0, the highest rating was 7, which is still not great. The median was 5 and the average was 4.14. This tells me that all of you would like things to be better, which is great. Because guess what? This is not that big a surprise. You're a young team. We're in the storming phase of team development. Forming, storming, and what we're gonna do now is start to develop some norms so you can hold each other accountable for holding to those so that you can get to the top phase, which is a high-performing team. Are there questions about that?
I want to know who broke the chart.
I'm not telling.
I'll say it was me. I put the 0.
Well, you didn't have to say.
Call
Call
yourself
yourself
out.
out. I was trying to
But
be
you can see
funny,
there
I'm
was a
sorry.
one.
No, that, she's being honest.
Yes, radical.
I appreciate it. I was just
Yeah.
trying to be funny.
So what I also asked you is what would you do to make it better? So that was the second sheet I handed out. What changes would you make? The top part, there's also some stuff on there, what would you change about meetings, et cetera. So ideas from the survey, be more open-minded to each other's thoughts and ideas, continue to show respect for each other, build trust, have transparent goals. This is great because we're gonna do that this weekend. Be willing to compromise. I think we saw some of that in that interaction you guys just have. Be more aware of what the citizens want, put the city first, set aside pettiness, no campaigning from the dais, be more concise in discussion, not circling back to the same points, and stop attention-seeking behavior. This is some changes, this is related, being succinct, following Robert's rules, or getting more familiar and comfortable with Robert's rules. Get to the point, sure everyone has the equal opportunity to provide input, et cetera. So you got all that in your sheets. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same while I do your vision. I want you to write first, what rules would you like to see for yourselves on how you interact with each other? What are the rules for interactions within council members that you guys from this point forward are gonna hold each other accountable for? Now, in the past, I'll just give you some ideas on stuff I've seen. And it's always interesting to me, because you can see what the problems are, because those are the rules. If it wasn't a problem, they wouldn't put it as a rule. So, one of the rules could be council members show up on time to all meetings. That tells me somebody's coming late. Council member, I didn't mean to look at you. Just because that was totally.
That shoe fits.
That was totally subliminal. I am so sorry.
That was the other guy.
Punctuality has never been my strong suit.
I'm gonna look at the ceiling. Council members will be fully prepared for the meeting. Council members will not be on their phone. Council members will, whatever, not post to social media. There's all kinds of things that you can put in here. What I want you to do is come to consensus on the ones that you all agree on, that you guys are gonna hold each other accountable for. And we're gonna generate a list of rules of engagement for how you're gonna interact and treat each other. The next step after we do that, we'll get a list. We'll do the same process we did before. I'll split you into 3 groups. You'll put on a flip chart. We'll talk about it, and then I'll codify it. Then we'll talk about rules of engagement for how you're gonna engage with staff. Same process, and the last thing we'll do is how are you gonna engage with the public? Citizens, businesses, what have you. That will be the last thing that we're planning to do tonight. So when we're done, we're done. And hopefully it's right around 9:30. Any questions about what I'm asking you to do? Do you guys all understand? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Any comments or feedback on the stuff I handed out or what we just talked about? Any surprises for anybody?
The 7. Whoever rated it a 7.
Well, you know, everybody has different rating scales. For some people, 7's horrible. For some people, 7's awesome, then they won't give anything more than a 7. So there's a lot of variation in that, and it is relative.
These are
But
honest answers.
it is telling, right? And the bottom line is, I think everybody would like it to be better, and you guys are the ones that can fix it.
Yeah.
All right, if you have any questions going through, do it individually. I'm gonna go over here and play around with this and see what I come up with.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right over there.
What's that?
You're right over there.
Oh, I'm not supposed to turn my head because of my surgery. Or at least I refuse to wear my necklace, though.
Can understand that.
What's that?
So I can understand that.
looks like most of you are done. I'm gonna put you into 3 teams. You know what to do. So Mark, you're number 1. We're gonna cross table. Courtney, you're number 2. Okay? Michael, you're number 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. 1's get together, 2's get together, 3's get together. Hopefully I mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Who's two?
And Laura
There's
Lee.
3 of you and 1.
And Melissa there too.
My goal is that everybody gets to work with everybody before we're done, so.
We'll come to you.
Okay. Come on over here.
Yeah.
Ye who are one. Righty. That's interesting.
Yeah, nah.
Diverse opinions over here.
How are we gonna learn how to get along? You want me to go first?
I don't know, but I'm not gonna have a cigar. So you can put it up there.
I may have to duck that a little bit early. I've got some schoolwork I gotta do for tonight. So, today's my last day before spring break, so I've had 2 exams. I've got 2 written assignments that are due, and I've got a group project that my group partners have completely effed up from step 1.
Gee, how unusual is that? Okay, so, I think
Just having to also have people.
there's a difference between general and biased behavior. I
Don't
think
take a stand on certain
that kind of got mixed in the conversation.
factors on that. Also, some
Yeah, I jotted down, think of the council as one body, a unit, and an attack's on one or an attack on the whole.
we're being scrutinized, or we being watched.
I circled a couple that I liked: encourage more open, respectful dialogue focused on shared goals.
Always go like, know your role.
And then commitment to listening carefully to different perspectives.
I'm eager to
while
figure out what
maintaining
shared
unity
goals
and
we have.
professionalism. Yeah, that's what this is about. And then for bias behavior, what I would like to see is no phones on the bias, no texting. I think phones should be turned off in your personal.
I get messages from residents, and questions asked.
They don't do that. If you want a question asked, you have 3 minutes. You don't do, you are on the bias to make decisions, not to take input. They should have probably asked the questions.
A lot of them come up through the course of the discussion.
You're not discussing with the resident. You're on the dias only to make decisions.
Yeah,
Discussing.
I'm gonna argue against that one a little bit too. I think that like, if someone is texting me on my council phone and saying, hey, I'm watching this online, and I see that you might have been asking this question, but maybe it didn't come out the way in which you intended it to, maybe this is what you meant, because I've had someone be like, text me out before, so like, hey, I think I understood the questions you were asking, but I don't think you got the answer. So like, here's.
We're still not taking, it's not the right place to take public input. It's when you're on the dais.
I see what you're saying.
Public input is 3 minutes
I just
before.
disagree.
It's just, I think it's divisive at that point. I think it's, you're up there to make the decisions, you're elected to do them. And it's time for you to do that. Step up and make those decisions. But, I think that we should get, the majority of our questions have been answered before open session. So we have an agenda, we have a meeting with the city manager, we can call.
The first I wrote down was.
I mean, I don't mind bringing things up and, making sure that the public understands.
I don't know, the way that I see it is that, that's why people don't know that, because the questions aren't asked. I think, the way that I see it is that the questions that I've asked staff already are the ones that I've been asking. So it's staff doesn't, so I would
Well, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just saying you need to.
Yeah,
I don't know
so,
personally
oh,
that
yeah, but like, so
council
like,
members-
I do that, like, you know, so that way staff is prepared. It's because I'm just trying to create the educational,
Yeah,
informational
that's
process.
what I'm saying, okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes people come in, they're not people. And they haven't asked the questions yet. I mean, you shouldn't be surprised by the answers.
Agreed.
What else?
Then I'm not naturally performative, and so I get my questions answered before the meeting usually. So, yeah.
I mean, I guess I took this a little bit more literally and like, let's change our, like, you know, how would we amend the rules of council, right?
We
Like,
can.
essentially what
I
is
think
it?
we're not there yet.
Okay, that's what I did, okay, that's what I did, okay, it's like, I don't know if we're on that
Yeah.
yet.
It's just interaction.
And I think for me, it kind of has to do, well, kind of, what you had said, Mark, about, like, when we're not, it is not cross-examination of your policies. As someone who was in debates, yes, debate, you know, it's like, trust me, I'm like, there's a difference, you know, between a facilitation of a conversation, right, and like just an informative back and forth, right? Like there's that, but then there's the cross-examination. And to me, the cross-examination is the part that, starts to create that sense of like distrust, discomfort, you know, instability on the dais, like literally in real time.
Yeah. But we need to have an opportunity. We need to be able to feel like we can have different viewpoints on the council.
Oh, 100%.
It's gonna be very rare for any vote to be 100%, one way or the other. And we just need to be able to listen to each other respectfully and not necessarily feel like we have to debate everything.
Yeah, I think like and I don't know if this would necessarily be more like rules and like points of order and whatnot, but I think that there's sometimes language that's used that is like, well, we're asking as we can.
So when you're good, you guys get.
And I'm just like,
You're thinking the same thing.
I'm not done saying.
Oh my God.
I'm like, we're all up here. Like, this is too much work and too much of like all of our time and all of our resources for writing off because we don't care. You know, it's like we're doing it for you. Perfect. You know, so like saying stuff like that. Yeah, purposefully, you know, tries to undermine.
I think that'll do.
So that boils down to respect.
I think it needs to be clarified more specifically for all the people out there. Because some people might be, something different, somebody, so, like, for me, it's just like about.
Keep trying to get Mark the pen.
Don't bother.
When you're ready, get it off.
It's about your handwriting significantly better
Oh
than
my
mine.
gosh, okay. Oh, we're gonna write this down? Oh my god, okay.
Here, I put it right here on this table. Get all the stuff out of the way.
So,
Oh, you got a pen?
yes, I got this one. Do you want to use green or red? I'll let you choose.
You're the one writing. So you pause.
I think one of the big thing that we had said was this piece about encourage open, respectful dialogue. And then we said focused on goals, but I guess just curious.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was, for a moment there, my brain was like, wait, where does it go? Okay, encourage open, respectful dialogue.
Don't make that cool.
Um, no cross-examination of your colleagues.
That's respectful dialogue.
But people are gonna find that different. Like, sometimes you have to say things in the negative in order to set the rules, not just speak it in the affirmative, because some people still don't understand what the negative is.
Where the parameters are.
Yeah.
But you still have to be able to ask questions, and if you don't understand what one of your colleagues is saying.
But cross-examination is what happens. Yeah, which is why but I think when we say cross-examination, there's a very particular tone. Like, there's a very particular tone, and there's very particular questions that are.
Antagonistic.
Yeah,
Be collaborative.
So I almost in an antagonistic way responded with, if I'm trying to hear you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means, so it's refrain from antagonistic,
Conversations and questions.
towards your colleagues, right? Yeah.
You guys are ready to get on the flip chart?
What do we say, questions?
Interactions. Interactions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Royal Company.
But I would like to see is, I would like to see
Fancy.
people quit saying that the public believes
I
this.
saw it, so like, pay attention to the citizens.
It's
Right.
like,
You mean the ones in your,
Yeah.
I do, but they're not
Echo
the same
chamber?
one that.
Exactly, that's why I'm always like, wait, who are we talking about here? Cause my residents probably gonna be different from your residents, you know, so.
The public that contacts me is very different.
if it's taken out of context, it looks like it sounds worse than the intent. But one of my, I'm a big quote guy. Henry Ford, one of my favorites of his was, if I asked the people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses.
How about,
It's true though.
refrain from assuming that
Michael's taking us to the headbangers ball.
you are the entire of the city.
Yeah. I'm like, how do we just write that out? I'm like, or is it, something like,
Be open to ideas outside of the echo chambers. Is that-
I don't know.
be willing, I think it's more about like being willing to acknowledge that it is impossible for any single one of us to know the entire populace.
Right.
The
Like,
opinions of the whole.
yeah, it's
Diverse
impossible.
population.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So I just put,
Recognize the diversity of the,
Opinions of the general public.
what is it, like, opinion, want,
So, read what you said.
recognize that not a single CM knows the entirety,
What,
the
the entire,
inner thoughts of all the residents.
yeah.
I mean, look, say, so you get it out of the way, right? And just say, that was the way, say that was the way.
Setting, since we know from the app on the testimony why.
And my favorite is Michael. Remember, he's at the top. Listen to the people. I'm like, Mike, you've been my phone number now for 15 months. You've never called, you've never.
He's called me and I've met with him. And he specifically called me.
I
And I
wanted
have
to
met
call
with
me.
him. What are you talking about? What is this?
and then,
She's not gonna sleep tonight.
best to, like, I'm trying to figure out like how we would say, like, try our best to be prepared in collaborations.
First one I wrote down was be ready, show up on time, prepared, and well informed. I said, be ready, show up on time, prepared, and well informed.
Yeah, that's good. That incorporates mine. You ought to know what you're talking about before you get on the docket.
Well,
I don't, you don't say show up. That's just.
well, that was directed to me.
Oh, you're not. I don't believe waiting for help and being.
Yeah, like everyone's been.
3 minutes.
So it was be ready, show up on time.
Prepared. And well informed.
Yes.
How you doing? You're
It's gonna be interesting.
It's like so funny how the numbering worked out. I was like, oh. I was like, just creating the hive mind. At a certain point, it becomes the blind leading the blind. You know? But okay, like that's, you know, it's like that's. There's of course other little things, but for the most part, I think that's good. Do we?
You guys ready? When you're ready,
Yes.
put it on the wall.
Okay.
Okay.
On the wall. What you can put it over there behind that flip chart pad on the board. That'd be a good spot.
Oh, it's missing my heart. It's missing my heart. I need to have that. Look, I don't know.
Yes.
I like the new colors. I don't know.
What the purple?
Yeah, but come on.
I'm all for it to RCI and see. I'll ask. I haven't seen it. Okay, awesome. Thank you. No, this is or at least that. No, I did it.
My daughter wanted to go. She was super.
Am I gonna get rabies?
Rabies shot. And then she's sleeping with us.
Oh, okay.
I'll be able to be back. Hey, when you guys come back, go over there and do the thing.
I was like, am I in
Go over there and do the thing. Man, they're almost identical.
Who's got the marker? What does that mean? Question mark?
Underline the things you like.
Okay, encourage open, respectful dialogue. Okay, yeah, but how do you encourage that?
Okay, start from the bottom.
Don't worry about the how. This is what you're going to do. And if you have a question about it, put a question so they can explain.
Well, how do we do that and then not get? Before we get back to the next question.
I may have seen that, just.
Yeah, but recognize that, because who's that? That's so. Great job. You guys. I can't remember why I said that, but it was so funny.
Circular logic, she was trying to prove that a strong and effective immigration policy.
You thought that was your answer, you better speak up. Yeah, you better, you better,
Collaboration and allow.
no, you don't have to do that either. Open, respectful dialogue. How do you say this in Spanish?
I know you were. You were somebody else, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
Okay, so get ready, because one day they're gonna say, okay, ladies.
As long as you're gonna also say, I think it's, you know, being hospital.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, and it always, the perfect was like, you think you're getting it right, but I think it happens.
Hi, Greg.
So I say that one day,
I'll throw something in your face.
I said, listen, we gotta stay very
We
open.
agree.
We can.
I'm encouraging respectful dialogue.
I'll never say, because I was gonna say that.
Say what?
When you put all three of them, all you guys say, I said, all right, listen here, ladies, this is what's gonna.
The old fashioned way, you know, someone's gonna figure it out. Don't you say late. What? I can't hear you. What are you talking about? She gave us a whole bunch of magnesium, and I remember that one you got in your back. Supposedly. Yeah, or fentanyl. I don't put it back tomorrow. So, we'll have Did you mark on the back so much to take? You should stick me in my mark. I didn't even know. I marked the magnesium because that's the one.
Send him
That was one.
Or how many exits?
Every year because they
Abre. This was in Spanish right now. Abre.
Open dialogue, we have to.
I like how they themselves are responsibility to me, remember? Correct? Solamente yo. And I was like, wait, it's like, yes.
You guys are ready, come on over here.
All right, we're ready.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna move you guys one a little bit faster from here on out. I said I'm happy to be here till midnight, but that's not true.
That was a joke. We got a
All right, so underline, well, yeah, we ain't making that for that. Underline, learn to disagree respectfully, you like that? Actively listen and maintain. The question here, I heard them, so I'll ask it myself. What did you guys mean by professionalism? What does that mean to you?
What does that mean to you? Professionalism.
It relates back to having respect, maintaining composure on the dais, just kind of like you would act in a work environment.
Is that?
Yeah,
So I guess I'm trying to get, like, what are the core characteristics?
Like a sense of decorum, is that right, what you guys are driving at?
Probably so.
I think most of us would work in office environments, and so,
Yeah.
kind of that same thing where you don't really lose your cool, no matter,
Yeah.
I mean, you can have disagreements, but they don't
Right.
blow up.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess in the office.
In my own setting, you have to maintain respect and professionalism.
Okay,
I
so that's
think
what you mean.
patience all day long, and the patient can yell in my face if they don't agree with how much I'm charging them, but I can't go back and tell them you're gonna pay the stand bill regardless. You have to be
Yeah.
professional
Right.
and say it in a respectful
No
way.
cussing.
So active listen and maintain respect.
Mhm. But, yeah, respect.
Because it's just
Um,
not between us. It's-
Composure.
Okay.
We're on camera.
All right, show up to all council meetings, that's even better. So did you guys mean show up or be present or both? Okay. So be engaged. So they crossed out.
That was not respectful.
That was not one of the.
Or professional.
No, but no using AI. They said no attacking other council members, whether you use AI or
Through,
not.
through any,
Yeah.
You guys good with that change?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna be real honest, I have one rule, just be respectful. I don't wanna limit what other council members do, we're each our own people, and so my only rule is just to speak respectfully to each other.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
on that note there.
one thing I would like us to do is to think of us as a unit. And remember that if we're attacking one of us, we're attacking all of us. The,
Did you write that in your paper?
we discussed it, it didn't get on there.
Okay. Well, then they didn't agree with you.
Oh, no, we agree, but if he needs a backup, I'm like, I think we agree with that.
And I think the general public sees us as the council and that the decisions we make are the city. And they don't a few will say, oh, this council member or that council member, and track the decision you make. But I think those are very, very small and great. They see us as a unit.
So let me ask you a question. What happens when you vote against something, everybody else votes for it? Is there a rule around that?
No, there
Right.
shouldn't be.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that some councils put in as support the decisions of council, right? You could say I disagree with it, but that's what's council's decision, and not like throwing other council members under the bus because you didn't like the decision.
Right, we can explain why we didn't agree with it, just respectfully.
I think
Okay.
You should be able to write about that, for sure.
we've had that before. We've had that in past councils where if somebody voted no on something, another council member or somebody would either ostracize it or post it on social media, or they would also, contact that person and just belittle that person.
Yeah, that's what I
And the thing is that we have to learn to respect the votes, and I've told that to many past councilors, you have to respect my vote and not respect yours. We disagree. And it's the same thing when I came up with the thing. There have been some votes where we've been saying no to recently, but my thing is, if we say no, maybe a suggestion would be to find a solution that we would support. So if we go on the dais and say, I really can't support this, or I don't agree with this, then try to find a way to where the city can say, okay, well, what can you support then, or what alternative do you have? Because as leaders, we are here to also find solutions.
And I think like an addendum to like the no attacking other CMs would also be like no fanning the flames. You know, like that include things like that, for example. Cause like I'm just thinking about like, you know, even just recently, you know, with like How Tuesday, right, how executive went down on Tuesday. And, you know, there's comments that are calling out, you know, specific council members, and then we have certain council members going and liking those comments, right? And that are, so like to me, it also.
Social media.
Yeah, yeah, and so to me, it's like, it also includes that, right? Because like people see that, like, you know, people notice that. And so I'm just trying to figure out how do we figure out what disagreeing respectfully looks like, is what I'm trying to figure out. Because I think all of us feel that that might look differently, and I would just like to get better clarity around what that looks like, so that way we at least all know that we're playing by the same rules with that. I'm
chill, you know, so we can all talk to each other and like, you know, for the most part, it's like, you know, even like we agree, you know, coming up with like the vision and stuff like that. So it's like, how do we translate what's happening here, like onto how we are when the cameras are on and we're up there on the dais, you know?
Or after that.
Well, I think that's the learn to disagree respectfully, right?
Not calling us liars would be one way to start.
It's leaving the personal attacks out and debating the item, debating the issue, debating the agenda item, and leaving out the
Personal feelings, yes.
the personal part of it. And it is hard, because, you know, we are emotional when it comes to our residents. We are feeling the way we do. So I think it's just a matter of, we can debate or attack the issue, but let's refrain from attacking each other. And
Well, you're not supposed to do that, it's already a rule.
yeah, it's already a rule, but at the same time, it can lead to other things. And so you always want to just try to, you know, sometimes I've been, you know, coming across, and I've been told that I was, what do we call it, showboating. I was always trying to make myself look good on council. I was always shenanigans. I mean, it was brought up on dice when I'm trying to make my point. And I know those were personal attacks, but you just learn to just say, you know, just respectfully disagree.
My grandma think he is upset by that too, you know.
No, but he has, yeah.
There's other people, not here, but other council members are no longer here.
Okay, so are there any, I want to applaud you guys for being willing to be a little bit uncomfortable and for having healthy conflict. Because I think you guys have a better understanding of where you all stand or what you mean by certain things now. At least I do. So kudos to you. Anything else you want to say about this one? We good? Let's all go over to the other one. I felt, and maybe you mean something different, but there was a lot of alignment between the two flip charts. And maybe I read it wrong, but maybe that's why everything here is underlined and there are no questions. So encourage open and respectful dialogue, refrain from antagonistic interactions, recognize nobody knows everything, be ready to show up on time, and prepared and well informed. Any discussion?
They're kind of the same, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarity. It's about, a lot of it's about civility, right? Which I think as a society we've lost a lot of in the last 10, 15 years. So I'd like to see it come back.
Is this, when you were talking about this and the show-ups, I don't think it's not recently, or is it from past councils? Are we referring to just say, hey, let's make sure we show up? Not saying we're doing it now.
Right, it's
But I'm saying, let's make sure that
That should
we
be the
are.
I'm like,
This-
if
this
there's
is how
one
you-
thing that I'm
I
gonna
said that
say,
kind of as a minimum
Is
standard.
the expectation, the expectation that we
yeah,
all
like,
want for all
cause
of
if there's
us.
one thing that I think about all of us is I think we all show up prepared. Like
Yeah.
if anyone that ever tries to say, oh, so-and-so is not prepared, or, you know, they don't know what question, I'm like, that's the one thing we all do, you know?
Yeah.
I will say that recognize that not a single CM knows thoughts and opinions of all residents almost feels like a personal attack. Because I don't think, not all of us, I don't think any of us feel like we know everybody, right? But I do recognize, and it would be nice to be recognized, that some people speak to everybody. I'm not a district, right? So I literally speak to everybody in different areas. That doesn't mean I know everything. I think that kind of, and I love the fact that Laura Lee called me out on my shit on my stuff on Tuesday, because I called Spot out and I was like, it's not everybody, it's not everything. We gotta stop using those words because it's not realistic. And then Laura Lee said, well, you say that a lot too, and I was like, call me out on it. And I really mean that. Like, if you guys are like, Yvonne, you're saying everybody and everything, that brings me back down to reality, like, okay, let me be a little more specific.
Well, I would say that we probably are all at some point guilty of saying, you know, we need to listen to residents. But the reality is, we've got tens of thousands of widely varying opinions. And, you know, sometimes we have to, you know, take into
And when
consideration,
we're talking about
even the ones
residents.
that I disagree with.
So not,
may actually be what's best for the city.
not to be give you guys a cop-out or a good exit ramp. There's certain things, no matter how good you get, you're never gonna be good enough.
Right, right.
And just
Just do our
accept that.
best.
Do your best, but there's gonna always be some people say you don't listen to me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it's just like, look what you do as a city. If you got something coming up, it's in the water bill, it's on the website, it's whatever. It's
Nobody told me.
posted, put a banner over Main Street,
They're not-
and people
they're
say,
not
you
gonna
didn't
do it."
tell me. And I'm one of those people, because I don't read the stuff in the water bill, and I don't pay attention when I'm going. Anyway, I don't wanna give you like a cop-out or anything, but continue to try to get better, yeah, but, all right, so I think,
Just add just one little
Yeah.
10-second thing. I think when we're talking about the residents, I think we're always focused on the ones that are always showing up. That's all we see, and that's all we hear. And we're not realizing that there's thousands of people on the other side of town that don't even know where City Hall is. And I think that's kind
I
of
think
why.
that's exactly what we're saying.
And I think that's what it is there,
So I will say, I like to include anybody who reaches out to me, right? So like, I have 50 unread emails a day, it drives me nuts. Because I read them, I answer them, and part of my problem to my emails to staff is forwarding to the staff. Because I want, you say, you know, so there's gonna be residents that say, I don't feel heard or whatnot, that really bothers me, right? That bothers me that if somebody doesn't feel, and I know it's not realistic that I can make everybody feel heard, but I will say anybody that reaches out, I will do my best and my darndest to show up, to speak out. I've started to loop other people in because I never want to cross a boundary. Like if this is your district, let me give you an opportunity to reach out and to solve
And
it
that
with
was,
it first.
that was a good example yesterday, because I went and saw that intersection, I drive by it all the time, I've been in that neighborhood dozens of times, but not at night. So I went at night and saw that intersection, and it isn't necessarily just that stop sign's not lit. It should be stop signs, it should be a three-way, because the cross traffic doesn't stop. So that gives, you know, them a little bit more of a vision of what it is, and I appreciate you throwing that back to me.
You know what, I just had like the cutest idea, but like it's like too cutesy, I think, for like the vibes that are going on. But on the collaborate work together, I was like, wouldn't it be cute if like we all tried individually to like have an agenda item come together with like unlikely ally, if that makes sense, you know? And like, so that way we like can initiate like working
Have a
together.
common goal.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and like to show like, hey, we can find unity amongst us on the dais, like we can all work together, you and have this vision. Like I just think that'd be cute.
That will be progress.
yeah,
Well, I
Okay.
mean, yeah.
Go-
I agree.
go ahead.
No, I
You
was
got
just
any
gonna
more?
say, because I feel like sometimes when I hear Laura Lee talk about like the trees and the environment, like that is so important to me. And it feels like even for 5 minutes or 5 seconds, that you kind of have an ally in something and a common ground. And so the rules of council are set up to where you can have 2 items on your own and then a collaborate with the third one.
Yeah.
And that was specifically to encourage people to work together.
Yeah.
yeah.
And,
And by the
on
way,
the emails too, you know, when an email comes to all of the council, you're not supposed to reply all, so
Yeah.
nobody knows who answered that
Yeah.
email.
Right.
All of us, all 7 of us may have answered that person. We may have all said different things,
So
but
is my
we
fear.
don't know that, we have no way of knowing that. But my assumption is that the person that is closest to that issue has actually responded to it. It may be me, it may be an issue that is not related to anything I know anything about, I won't probably respond to that.
does, that, interesting, do you think there needs to be a rule around that, or, I know you have a rule,
Yeah, I
you
think
can't
that's
reply
You
all,
can't.
Yeah.
but I know you can't
No,
reply
a rule
all.
to responding. So I have
But
an auto
how do you
reply.
know who responds to it, or who should respond to it, or?
You don't.
That's the part, and it's hard for us because once they've submitted it to the council feedback one, we can't talk, like, you know, it's like, it's to all of us, and we can't respond to it all, so we don't know how to, I don't know how to figure out coordination without, you know, having
Yeah.
to talk to everybody, right?
Yeah.
On like,
So each one,
Oh, are you gonna
each
take
one of us
this?
can respond to that
Is
person.
it, yeah, understood, but is it possible for you to like have one person that determines who should be the principal respondent?
No, and I encourage everybody to respond.
Yeah, we can.
I
always-
mean, and I don't give like answers right away. I usually pass it over to Brian and say, hey, can you help her out, or, what, you know,
Hey, we got this.
yeah, how can we, and my,
I
I
always
always,
CC Brian.
Yeah,
I have an auto response so people know that their email has been received.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because sometimes we're like, I wrote and nobody responded, and I'm like, sorry, like, I'm sure they got it, but I don't know what to tell you.
That's frustrating too.
Well, then there's one that you get, what, there's a particular one that would receive.
Say no more.
Three or four emails a day about the traffic on his place. I doubt seriously that we're always doing it, or even any of them.
Yeah.
Some of us are.
Okay, I added this something around avoid absolutist language, because I heard you guys say that. So if you get in the habit of saying everyone and never and no one, that's rarely true.
Yeah.
So, as a general rule, I think it's good for all of us to try to avoid that. Be collaborative and work together. All right, so I've added those. I'm gonna distill this down into a list, but as I, before I do that, I have some.
Oh, is it our vision?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can just stay right there.
Get back.
Close.
Can I sit back down?
You can if you'd like.
I would like.
All right.
I want a piece of candy.
One, I'd love to look other people on, I just want, I don't want.
All right, here's your draft vision.
Can I sit down?
Yes, you can.
Okay, sorry.
You can sit down. Everybody can sit down if they like. All right, so Kyle is a healthy, safe, inclusive, and unified city. Our easy access to a variety of unique and diverse businesses, job opportunities, green spaces, and thriving neighborhood communities make us the envy of the region.
Yeah.
Take a minute and review.
Hang on, my brain is computing.
Yeah.
I think it's too, I like the first sentence. I like that a lot. I like the last, I like and thriving neighborhood communities. Easy access to.
Do you not want to be the envy of the region?
I'm not sure we ever will be though, like, we don't have somebody.
But what are you gonna
High
shoot for?
expectation, right?
Yeah, this is.
It's just
I want to be
aspiration.
envisioned.
Look around the region, the bar's pretty low.
We already are.
I don't know, cause look at Wimberley, look at Dripping Springs, those are very desirable places.
There's a
But
lot
their
of
vision's
reasons not to
different.
live in either one of them.
Well, that's because a lot of people can't afford to live in those.
Well,
But
but
they had a
But if-
different
if-
vision and they
so-
created it.
So if you had, the normal person, I feel like, a lot of people, if you said, hey, you can live in Wimberley, Dripping Springs, Kyle, or San Marcos, I can tell you exactly in which order that would be.
Okay.
And I think Kyle would be second to last.
But the vision is about like
I
where
don't
we
think
hope
so.
to get to,
Yeah, it's your,
right?
it's
Yeah.
your
We want to-
aspirational statement for what you'd
I
like to
think right-
become.
I chose Kyle and I had the opportunity for any of them.
People are not wanting to move here, but if this is 10 to 15
That's the goal,
years
yeah.
out,
Do you want people to
I
wanna
don't
move
like
here?
the word envy.
Well, I also know a lot of people who do wanna move here and who actually like living here, you know, tell me.
No, that's me.
We
I like
all-
living here.
yeah.
How about it makes, make us a place people are proud to call home?
Any of those four,
That
where are we?
sounds good. Well, I couldn't afford,
that better?
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I couldn't afford
that's
Wimberley.
good.
because that's,
Yvonne,
that civic
How about,
pride,
and thriving neighborhood communities, what did I just say?
make us the end, or make
Make
us
us-
the place people wanna call home.
Or
Proud to call
a
home.
place people are proud to call home.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's,
that
yes,
feels good.
yeah. I don't want anybody to be envious. That's
Okay.
it. That's it.
Well, it's one of the 7 deadly
But
ones.
that's
right?
what I'm saying, like, come on. If we're gonna-
Okay, good. We won't wordsmith as a group. I won't do it. So I like that. I'll make the change. We'll move it on. Here's the last one. Kyle is the undisputed regional leader in vehicular and pedestrian mobility, state-of-the-art parks and sports infrastructure, entertainment venues, and quality of life retail, which augments a diverse, vibrant, equitable, thriving community that families, neighborhoods, and businesses are proud to call home. So the end's gonna be the same, but that's significantly different than what y'all's vision is.
Timeout.
Yeah,
Our new vision didn't have, equitable in it, and that's one thing that we all agreed on. On the one that you drafted, I don't think it said equitable, and that.
Inclusive.
it's
But
inclusive.
Well,
I can put it,
unified.
I can put equitable in there.
Yes, it's
It's
incredibly
inclusive,
important.
is that different than
It is,
inclusive?
Yes, it's very different.
Okay. All right,
Maybe before
safe,
you need-
equitable, inclusive, and unified city, how's that?
There you go.
All right, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the-
Here, since this is so important, excuse me.
When that ghost gets you,
This comes after you. You're not gonna know what you.
there's some crossover.
I just wanted to make sure that equitable, like, that has to be defined.
Both of them use the word thriving.
It's because it's
But I feel like both are similar, but they give me different vibes.
They're
Like-
completely different
Yeah, I was
vibes.
gonna say both give me completely different vibes.
So for you, what's the different vibe?
You can tell by the people who aren't here, where the,
No, seriously, what,
no, I'm being
which,
serious.
this one gives you what kind of
I
vibe?
know you are, and you're
think
right.
this one
I'm not saying you're wrong, it's just funny.
Let's hold together just
I
a
think this
little.
one feels more like homely. Like this one feels more like if we're trying to create like quite literally a place where people call home.
So-
The other one, I guess
feels
the
like
one
Kyle.
before, no, not like a bedroom community, but like a place where like people can have fun here. They want their friends to come here because there's places to go out, experience life, enjoy that. They feel safe. There's job opportunities here.
And let me state for the record, feeling like this is a, what did you just call it, a home? There's nothing wrong with that. And I've heard people say, it's okay for Kyle to be a bedroom community. Not everybody strives to go live in Austin. I mean, people move to Kyle for a very specific reason.
Yep.
And it's not because they have access to a ton of, high-tech, sportsplex
So,
stuff.
yeah, and it depends though, right? It depends on what your
It
vision
does, yeah,
is
but I'm just saying,
for
what
Kyle.
I meant to say, and why I said that is because I don't want that to be framed in a negative way.
Right.
It's not a negative connotation. We can be a
No.
home.
You could be the
bed,
number
whatever.
one bedroom
Yes.
community in the region, and that's your vision for Kyle, that's awesome.
That is
Or-
not my vision.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's not what you said.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's not what we're saying, but what I'm
Right.
saying is I don't wanna villainize that. I
Right.
don't wanna make it seem like that's bad to have.
Oh, you can be whatever you want.
Yes.
That's the beauty of being an adult. You can do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want when you grow up. So Kyle is a healthy, safe, equitable, inclusive, and unified city. Our easy access to a variety of unique and diverse businesses, job opportunities, green spaces, and thriving neighborhood communities make us a place where people and businesses are proud to call home.
That's good.
That's good.
Thumbs up if it's 80% of the words and 90% of the intent. So everybody's behind this, everybody's gonna agree to support it, you're gonna hold each other accountable, because this is gonna be the lens you're gonna look through to judge all the initiatives. This is gonna be the lens you're gonna look through to discuss all the ideas. You guys are gonna get a time.
I know, I was like rooting into us. Sorry.
I'm gonna give you the look. This is gonna be the lens you look through, because there's tons of great ideas out there, but not every great idea is a great idea for you.
It could just be an idea.
It could be a great idea for Taylor. Ellie, do you wanna be Taylor?
No, I wanna be Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you like it?
Yes.
I hope you do, because I really liked it. I thought you guys did great work. And the vibe, as Claudia said, this to me is a lot more homey. This to me is a lot more embracing, welcoming. It's a lot softer. This is very technical. This is German to me.
Shrek is yours?
A little bit. But you know how the Germans are very precise and it's very guttural and click. So undisputed, regional leader, pedestrian mobility. I think it's great because it gives you a lot of direction to staff. Here's what we want you to build. But it's not like as welcoming as the other one. Does that make sense? I'm sorry, I did it. Lorelei, almost made it through the whole thing without asking that question. All right, so what I'll do is I'll type up the rules of engagement. I have a question for everybody. It is 9:45. We said we were gonna finish at 9:30. My apologies, we're 15 minutes over. We have two more rules of engagement. Rules of engagement with staff and rules of engagement with the public. We can do that in the morning, and I think I've got a shortcut on how to do the goals. So if it's okay with you, we could, I'll type up the rules of engagement with each other while it's still fresh. We'll come back in the morning, we'll do a recap, we'll talk about what we did today. We'll finish those two and get into the 4 goals. We'll establish those. I'm gonna give you a little foreshadowing. 2 of the goals are almost the same in every city, in every department in every city. Your financial goal is to be good stewards, good and faithful stewards of the city's resources. If you want something different, I want you to think about it overnight, but usually it tends to be something like that, so I can save you some time there. Okay?
The past few years, we've had the same kind of vision.
Well, what else do you want to be? And you can see the strategies that's going to engender. The strategy that engender is being efficient, finding alternative revenue sources,
Cutting the fat.
like I said, being efficient, finding the revenue sources, finding alternative ways to do things, those kinds of things. That's being good stewards.
Because if you look at those three examples you had earlier with those companies, right? Innovation, right?
Yes.
The second one, that sounds just like what we talked about last year. We were trying to be an innovative, state-of-the-art, pedestrian mobility, world leader in sports and entertainment kind of thing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, but it's kind of like where we were at.
Yeah, so I just ripped off the bottom part of this. But this is the thing here, is the value operating model is corresponding. You don't get to charge, did I tell you this? You don't get to charge whatever you want just because you're customer intimate. You got a range you can get in. So every organization has to get to the threshold level in all three, and then you pick the one you want to be the best at, and you pursue that. So do you want to be the best at being the efficiency people? Or you want to be the best at the innovation, or the best at being customer intimate? But that doesn't mean you got to ignore the costs. Everybody has to be. So you may not be operationally excellent, but you at least need to be operationally efficient. That's the threshold. You may not be the product leader, but you have to have at least product differentiation. People need to be able to discern you from everybody else. And you may not be customer intimate, but everybody's got to be customer responsive. Get those three and you pick the one you want to be best at. And that's how that works. But it goes back to what Michael was saying, so.
You can't leave now.
All right, so I'll type that up. Tomorrow, let's skip to this. All right, so it's up to you guys. Have you guys filled out your fun facts?
Yes.
Courtney, has anybody else done a fun fact sheet? Has it filled one? Melissa? Yeah? All right, tomorrow we're going to start at 9. We're scheduled to go to 9 to 5. The agenda is we'll finish up what we didn't do today. We'll do balanced scorecard goals. We'll develop those 4. Then they're going to do, the staff will do, is it, Jesse, you going to do it? An overview of the current strategic plan. We can talk about how that aligns with your vision and your goals. We'll talk about the budget process. What are your goals for the budget? What are your hot buttons, and talk about the process. And then you're going to go through some key initiatives one by one. And you can determine how those help contribute to your vision. Because now you got the lens to look through as a group. So do you guys want to do fun facts
Now?
now, or do you want to do that in the morning? You want to think about it overnight, write your thoughts down, and we'll do it first thing in the morning?
I'm done for that.
I still have prizes, so we'll do it first thing in the morning. We'll start with something fun.
During breakfast.
Yes, very good.
Rick, will you cut and paste the new vision and just email it to me?
Oh, man. All right. Meeting's adjourned.
Sure.
Yes.